And we are live. How's everybody doing tonight? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and you're watching and/or listening to ABL Live. You could be almost anywhere in the world, but you're right here with me live on the show, and I appreciate y'all for that. We got a whole lot going on all over the internet, all over mainstream media, social media, everywhere, and I don't know where to start. First of all, Kamala Harris. Black, white, Puerto Rican candy stripe. What is she? What's going on? Why is it really your thing? Well, when you say you're one thing and you may not really be that thing, and then you say something else the next day, it seems like you'll say whatever it takes to try and get elected, just like any other politician who is untrustworthy, which is the norm. We'll talk about that a little bit more a little bit later. Also, the issue of biological XY men fighting biological XX women. Oh, she's a woman, ABL. She just has XY chromosomes. Don't worry about that. We'll talk about that a little bit more a little bit later. Also, speaking about Trump and Kamala, he has agreed to debate her on September the 4th in Pennsylvania at an undisclosed location, a yet to be determined location. But Kamala says, nah, you agreed to debate on September the 10th. Don't run now. Well, who's running? Because last I checked, he did not agree to debate Kamala. He agreed to debate Joe Biden, not Kamala. So you can't just say, yeah, I'm going to change the candidate. I'm just going to appoint myself to be the nominee with no democratic process and then object to somebody changing the time and date of the debate. I mean, what's really going on? Also, Kyle Rittenhouse got a little bit of backlash for denouncing Trump, then undenouncing him immediately. We'll talk about all those things and a whole lot more on tonight's episode of ABL Live. And thank y'all again for being here. You guys are the best audience anywhere on these interwebs. If you like what you're hearing thus far, if you enjoyed the content in general, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. We got a whole lot going on. There is quite a bit happening. Man, oh man. Before we even get into anything, before we even get into the sponsors or whatnot, I never thought in my whole life, in my 40 years of living, that I would be arguing with people about XY chromosomes, meaning that someone is a man. I mean, listen, I don't care if this person is intersex or they had some kind of weird thing with their body parts going on. Okay, that's fine, but check it out. Whether you know it or not, you're a man if you have XY chromosomes. Oh, sometimes, no, ABL, sometimes you can have XY chromosomes and not be a man. For real? All right. So what you going to tell me next? That a man can have a baby? Because you can find medical articles that would say something like that. Oh, it depends. Just like when Mark Lamont Hill was on the Candace Owens show. Remember that? And he was saying that, yes, sometimes men can have babies. He was dead serious. This is an academic, a professor at a college, and says, yes, you can be a man and have a baby. Oh, it depends. Sometimes. No, you can't. You cannot have a baby as a man. This is basic third grade biology. And do you know, people were asking me, hey, where'd you cite your source that men have XY chromosomes? I'm like, what? What? Huh? Biology, third grade, elementary school? I mean, like, as soon as I learned that the stork did not drop off the baby, and it was something else going on, it was like a human process happening, I knew that a man cannot have a baby. But nowadays, 2024, men can have babies. Women sometimes aren't women. Sometimes it's offensive to look at an obvious woman and say she's a woman. Sometimes you can't misgender a man. This thing is weird. And you know how it goes really with this kind of stuff. They start with things that are ridiculous, and a lot of us know that they're ridiculous. But a lot of normies don't know that these things are ridiculous. A lot of normies just accept whatever's being told to them. It's like the whole thing with Kamala Harris, and we'll get to that in a minute. But the whole thing with Kamala Harris and this fraud nomination process. Listen, the people voted for Joe Biden. They did not vote for Kamala. In some parts of the country, you're able to vote for the vice. Well, in some parts of the country, you're able to vote for the person who is next to the person. You understand? Like governor and lieutenant governor. I think in North Carolina, You're able to vote for each one independently. In the case of the president, you don't have that opportunity. You vote for the president, and whoever they pick as a vice president, it is what it is. And that doesn't really help you in the election. Trump did not reveal his VP pick until after the majority of the primaries were finished, after everybody had voted. Why? They're not voting for JD Vance or whoever he had in mind. They're voting for Donald Trump. Same thing with Joe Biden. They're voting for Joe Biden, not Kamala Harris. Kamala got stumped into wine. Kamala lost so badly, she pulled behind Pete Buttigieg, Amy Klobuchar, everybody. She was nearly dead last in 2020, just 4 years ago. Just 4 years ago, she was dead last. She dropped out of the race completely in December 2019 because there was no interest in her. They tried their best to make her be a thing. They put her on television. They had Senate hearings and she was highlighted. Same thing with her and Cory Booker. The mainstream media colluded with the federal government trying to market her, but the marketing failed because nobody really bought into who she is. She has a false identity. Now, Barack Obama also has a false identity, but his is more believable. You see, Barack Obama is from Indonesia with his white mom and his Asian stepdad, Lolo Soetoro, back when Barack was known as Barry Soetoro, Barry for Barack and Soetoro for the stepfather's last name. Then he goes to Hawaii to live with his white grandparents. Okay, basically as a foreign student, because up until that point, he was living in Indonesia. Then he goes to the States for quote unquote finishing school. He goes to the black church for 20 years. Jeremiah Wright, remember him? Not God bless America. You know the rest. So 20 years of that and living in the States and having a black wife. Now, all of a sudden, he's a black guy with black affectation, black American affectation. That's what he did. Kamala, let me tell you something about Kamala. Kamala went to a so-called black college, but she was at the time living in French Canada, Montreal. So she had no idea about black American culture at all because she's living up there. The most she's going to know is from what she saw briefly when she was in California, when she was a baby and maybe on television. So she goes to the black college and is around that for a while as her finishing school to kind of come off a little bit more quote unquote black. Now, listen, I'm not a guy that's really caught up into race like that. That's not really my thing. But at the same time, when people hinge their whole campaign on a certain identity, when they say, you know, I'm black this, I'm black this, blackity black, 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 and you're trying to talk like that, and at your first rally, you're in the black Mecca. Yes, it is a black Mecca, Atlanta, Georgia, and you have rappers on stage. Let's stop playing games. Okay, just a few years ago, you be dancing to Bollywood. You doing all that kind of stuff, right? But now all of a sudden, it's hip, hip, hippity hop, hop. It's Tupac, it's Meg Thee Stallion, it's all that. All I'm saying is, look, whoever you are, just be that. Be yourself. Whoever you are, just be that. Whether you as a person who may be black or some kind of other color may not be stereotypically what that particular race is in the minds of many, it doesn't matter. Just be whoever you are. Don't be one thing one day and something else the next day, because to me, that means you're fake. And why would anyone want to vote for a fake person? This is the whole reason why Trump even exists. There would be no Trump without all the fake politicians. They'll say one thing and then do something else. Barack Obama, I'm not going to support gay marriage. Then he legalizes gay marriage. Okay. Joe Biden, yes, I'll cancel your student loans. Doesn't cancel any student loans beyond regular programs that already existed. First, it was 50 grand for each person he's going to cancel. Then it became 10 grand. Then it became maybe you get your student loan debt canceled by chance, by happenstance. And from 2021, when he became the president, when he got inaugurated up until right now, there's been about 170 billion of student loan debt canceled under his administration. But let's put a little bit of context here. The student loan debt bubble is 1.7 trillion and counting. Every year, 100 billion with a B, 100 billion of new student loan debt has created. All that Joe Biden did was a lateral move at best. So some people can go on TV and say, yeah, my student loan debt was canceled. He came through for me. Meanwhile, you didn't really move the needle at all. And really, you just put people more in debt because credit card debt is up 50% because people are so broke because everything's so expensive due to the inflation. So it's a whole mess out here. But yeah, shout out to the fake politicians like Kamala, like everybody else. I appreciate people that are real, even if I don't always agree with them. Trump, I don't always agree with, and that's totally fine. That's called being a human being. You're not always going to agree with everybody. Your best friends, your husband, your wife, your loved ones, you're not going to always agree with them, and that's okay. But this internet culture says if you disagree with somebody one time, you cancel them, you forget about them, you throw them away. That's not how human beings really operate in the real world. That's just not what it is. But yeah, so that's my whole issue with Kamala, but we're going to get into that a lot more deeply because we got a lot of clips to get through. We got a whole lot going on. But again, shout out to you guys. I appreciate it. If you like what you're hearing so far, if you enjoyed the content in general, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Also, the sponsors, I almost forgot because I was ready. I had to get off my chest. I was ready to just let it get off my chest. So check it out. Shout out to patriotpost.us, your best source of news and information anywhere on these interwebs. Their link will be in the description, or just go to patriotpost.us in the browser. Tell them that ABL sent you. Also go to ablmerch.com. We got the hats, t-shirts, stickers, hoodies, mugs, and more right there on the website, ablmerch.com. That link, of course, will always be in the description. Also go to my regular website, anthonyblogan.com. That is ANTHONY, the letter B, LOGAN.com. Go to the front page of the website. I have articles for each video that I produce, and in each article, you have sources from the left, from the right, from the politically agnostic, from the local, national, international, whatever you need. I got it. As long as it's legal and available, I'm going to post it right there on the website. Even if YouTube and Facebook and Twitter and Twitch and whatnot don't allow it, it'll be up there. Not Twitch. I never use Twitch. TikTok. I'm on TikTok now because they put the gun to my head and told me to do it. And I went viral pretty much immediately. But yeah, go to the front page of the website if you're looking for sources. Also, go to the contact page of the website, anthonyblogan.com/contact us. You're able to find my email address, my email address, my UPS box, my social media accounts, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, never going to call it X. All those links are right there on the contact page. And as I always say, if you're ever wondering if you are conversing with me or not, as a few context clues. First of all, I'm never going to contact you through a comment on YouTube with some kind of money-making scheme. And as a matter of fact, I'm not going to contact you at about a money-making scheme unless you are like a music producer and you got music for the show, or you're a vendor or something like that. But in that case, if we're communicating about business, it'll be from my official email address, contact@anthonyblogan.com. That email address is on the website. It's easy to find. Website links in the box. You can search me on the internet, so I'm easy to find. AnthonyBLogan.com is the website. Everything's right there. So that's the best way to figure out whether you're speaking to me or not on these interwebs, okay? I'm not going to ask you to send me Apple iTunes gift cards or Western Union, or I'm not going to text you talking about, hey, I just text you a number right now. I just text you a number. Please send me that number on your phone. Do it now, Ron. Hey, do it now. I don't have time. Please do it now. I don't sound like that, and I'm not going to ask you to do nothing crazy like that. I don't have a 5,892 digit WhatsApp number for you to contact. That ain't going to be me, okay? I'm not a WhatsApp user, all right? I don't live in Lagos, Nigeria. I'm not a WhatsApp user. I don't live in Eastern Europe somewhere. I'm not in Russia using VK. I'm not doing it. So y'all please be aware of the scams, because although I always give the warning, sometimes I still get emails from people like, hey man, I trusted you. I thought I was going to get $1 million. It's not me, man. So let's just not do that anymore. Anyway, so Maynard, yes, ABL coin is not going to the moon. If someone sold you ABL coin, you might as well go ahead and just chop it up as a loss. You've lost that money and it's not going to go nowhere. All right. So we have a whole lot going on. And again, shout out to you guys. Give me 1 second. I need to turn my AC down by 1 degree. It's about a tad bit too hot. I'm about to start sweating right here. I'm already kind of greasy, about to be sweating. Give me a second. Hold on. And I'm back. Yeah, I'm glad I got the AC. See, where I am right now, I'm in my, I guess you would say, above garage room. I guess it's a 4th bedroom. I don't know. Like a bonus room. That's what it is, what they called it. So I'm upstairs. It's the only room upstairs. It's a bonus room. It has a bathroom and a full shower. And it has an AC unit for up here. And then the other room is where my furnace is. I got a gas furnace and a little bit of storage space up there. But yeah, sometimes it gets a little toasty up here. All right. ABO coin doing better than Boogie coin. Yeah, man. Shout out to Boogie. Shout out to him, man. Hey, Boogie, you got to get it together, man. You got to tighten yourself up, man. We don't got no time. Look, one thing I'm going to say about a lot of YouTubers and content creators and everybody in general, we're not getting no younger, man. You got to take care of yourself. You can't be, you know what I'm saying, Dr. Now, a Dr. Now patient at 45 years old, man. You ain't going to make it. You're not going to make it. If you are Dr. Now, if you have the big back that can qualify you to be on Dr. Now, 600-pound life, if you are that size, I suggest you reduce that before you get older, because as you get older, it's going to get a lot more difficult to maintain your health and to maintain a certain kind of size. If you're 25 years old and you 800 pounds, please lose that, man. We don't got no time for the nonsense. All right. Hey, ABO, how do I lose weight? Well, what are you eating? Listen, can I show you something right quick? I saw something that was crazy. People eat way too much food. They eat way too much. If I can find this, I got to find it. But I have to. I saw somebody's grocery haul. It was this really big lady. She had a grocery haul. And for like 3 to 4 days, it was an entire floor full of food in bags. Like the entire ground for about 3 days. It's like, what in the world are we doing? You know, and then, you know, matter of fact, I can't even find that. But I'm going to show you what I see. When people do the whole, they do the whole EBT hustle. Oh yeah, did you guys see that migrants EBT ticket allegedly? Matter of fact, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna show you the EBT ticket, and then we'll keep going from there, because I think that's pretty important to know. That's pretty important to know. Let me show you that, and then we're going to keep on rocking. But if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Now, if you living in a migrant place or anywhere, quite frankly, and you go to Wally World, Target, first of the month, especially Wally World, Walmart, between the first, like right now, today's the 3rd. If you went to Wally World today, you probably saw a scene that looked something like this right here. Look at all this stuff. Okay. Now, I'm seeing a bunch of garbage. I'm seeing sugar, all this box stuff, cereal, goldfish, popsicles, different kinds of popsicles. Man, you're talking about high fructose corn syrup, harmful dyes, all of that. Cheetos, Cheez-Its. We got some eggs in the box. I've not quite seen that before. A big, like an economy size at Walmart. That's interesting. All kind of different meats, a little bit of everything. All right. Like if you see carts like this, you already know what time it is. On the first of the month, you already know what time it is. People say that obesity is linked to poverty. That doesn't make any sense. Obesity has never been a symptom of poverty in the world up until the past maybe about 40 to 50 years when they came up with the Great Society, the food stamp program. I don't care if you got a food desert. I don't care what's going on. It's impossible to be truly poor and be fat at the same time, because you cannot afford to buy food if you're truly poor. You go overseas and you go to these third world countries, you're not going to see 800-pound people in poverty. You know the good example of this? You got Kim Jong-un, right? Kim Jong-un is obviously a little portly. Kim Jong-un, if Xi Jinping is Winnie the Pooh, then Kim Jong-un is Winnie the Pooh's little sidekick. I don't know who the sidekick was. Was it Tigger? I don't know who it was. But anyway, thing one, thing two, freaking frack, Dumb and Dumber, the same thing. Xi Jinping and Kim Jong-un. But in North Korea, the people, you looking like about that big, because they don't got no food, because they're truly in poverty. Ain't no food stamp program. Ain't no free food just floating around. Okay? But yeah, now to go back to it, if you ever see something like this in the store, you already know what time it is. It's the EBT program. It's the food stamp program, okay? Now, this is allegedly a ticket that a migrant left in a store. It's a receipt. Matter of fact, let me zoom in a little bit so you're able to see it clearly. Let's zoom in so you can see it clearly, okay? This was allegedly at a bodega in New York City. Now, the person purchased some food on their EBT card, and the thing they purchased, or the items they purchased, came to $24.82. But if you look up here at the top of the receipt, there's a EBT FS balance. That's EBT food stamp balance. Okay. It says $13,401.82. $13,401.82 just for the food stamp balance. And there's also cash on the card, because one thing about these EBT cards, a lot of times you get all your benefits put on the card. So child support will go on there. Oh yeah. Your EBT, your women, infants, and children, your whatever it is, it'll go right on that card. Now, so now they have $4,498.85 of cash. So we're talking about what, $18,000? $18,000 on the card. And allegedly, this is a Venezuelan migrant, an illegal alien, probably from Venezuela, with $18,000 on the food stamp card. Now, average Americans just struggling to be able to make ends meet, struggling to be able to pay bills, need $100, $200, $300, or whatever. But here we go, giving the migrant 18 bands, as the cool kids say, $18,000. Now, the food stamp balance, it'll roll over. So if you don't use it, it'll accumulate. Okay, you just giving them, they just give you money every month, and they put it on your card and load it up. And if there's any kind of issue with them giving you too much money, hey man, that's free cash, free money. It's all good. J-Dub says that's just a remaining balance. What was the amount before? Well, I mean, they bought something for $24. So I guess whatever you see up there plus $24. But yeah, that's what's going on. And I'm sure there probably was more money on it before they spent it. I don't know how much they're getting, and I don't know the science behind how much someone may get. But yeah, it's family at 28. Yeah, exactly. So when you see somebody with the cart loaded up on the first of the month, you already know what time it is. And really, all that stuff, all this right here, hold on, did I delete it? But all that they had was just pure garbage. All that they had was pure garbage. Like absolute garbage, nothing really else. Okay. Now, before we get into anything else, before we get into, matter of fact, hold on. Do I want to show this? Oh yeah. I got one more about the migrants. I'm kind of out of order a little bit, but I definitely got to show that one about the migrants, because the person, there's people in an apartment complex in Georgia, allegedly, and they say 14% of illegal aliens are registered to vote. We're going to see.
We come from a company that is dedicated to registering Hispanic people so they can vote in upcoming elections. Are you already registered? We already voted. You already voted? Yes. Are you a citizen or?
No.
Have you already been registered, or
Yeah.
are you a citizen, or?
No.
So look, let's pause for a second. And then somebody asked, we're talking about Kamala. Yeah, Kamala's going to be the topic until she's not, because she's running. So we're going to talk about her quite a bit. But some may say from the beginning, when they were talking about they specialize in registering Hispanic people to vote, some may say, oh, they're citizens, ABL. They're just getting ready to vote and it's all good. But these are not citizens according to them. So they're being registered to vote, but they're not actually citizens. So my question is, how is this even happening? And again, this is in Georgia. I don't know how they're doing it or what's going on. Some may say this is not really real, whatever. But at the end of the day, they are being contacted and they are registering to vote, allegedly.
Have you already been registered at work? Yes, we have. You've already been registered? Are you a citizen or not a citizen?
No es.
The apartment complex Elliott Norcross in Norcross, Georgia, is occupied primarily by non-citizens.
And that's Atlanta, if you don't know. Basically, it's Atlanta.
We visited the complex to ask residents 2 questions. Are you a citizen, and are you registered to vote? Shockingly, 14% of respondents admitted to being non-citizens registered to vote.
Buenas, disculpe por molestar. Venimos con una organización que se dedica a registrar a la gente hispana para poder votar en las elecciones. ¿Ya la registraron a usted o...? Ya. ¿Y fue en el trabajo o vinieron? Vino alguien a tocar. Ok. Muchas gracias. Y oiga, ¿y usted es ciudadana o...? No.
So you already see what's going on there. And before somebody says that Norcross is not Atlanta, let's stop. It's Gwinnett County. It's not Atlanta. I understand, but it's right there. It's like right in the metro. And they live in there and they're saying, hey, man, we're registered to vote. They came to the door, knocking on doors. And that ultimately, that's the goal here, is to get these people from wherever they come from to be here and replace you as a voter. And I say you, it could be the blacks, the whites, whoever, citizens. They're going to replace you. That's the idea. And the way that they'll replace you is by being in such big numbers that they will overwhelm you in elections that normally may go one way or the other. That's the goal, in my humble opinion, to have them be workers, get a trabajo, trabajar, and then have them vote as well. So when people, your cousins or whatnot, say, hey, man, these people, they deserve to be here. No one should be turned away. It's like, all right, but do you understand the ultimate goal here? Do you understand the game here? And if you understand the game, you probably shouldn't be speaking about it, in my humble opinion, or become educated about what's really going on. Do some digging, and then you'll understand. You will understand. All right. Now, before we get to a few more things here, have you guys heard about the new ABC song? I know that was a crazy gear shift. Have you guys heard a new ABC song? Now, we all know the ABC song. We all sung it as kids. I'm not going to sing it right now because you're going to hear it in a minute. But apparently, there's a new song. Now, to all the parents, anybody that is a teacher, anybody that, deals with children, have you heard this new ABC song? Is it everywhere? Is it nationwide? Is it worldwide? What's going on? Let's hear the regular ABC song for reference, of course. You guys, I know all you guys know it. All you guys know it because you guys are smart. Now, some of the trolls on Twitter, they don't know it because they can't read. Okay, so when you are 45 years old and can't read, you lash out as a troll. That's kind of what you do. But you guys don't do that. But let's hear the old one and the new one. Check it out.
The alphabet song of our youth has been scrapped, and parents are having to learn a new version of the song to keep up with their children. So the alphabet song we know and love, that's set to the same tune as Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P. Yeah, that version is long gone. Kids are coming home from school singing a similar but new version, where there are pauses after the letters G, N, Q, T, W, and ends with X, Y, Z. But that's not all. Kids will now close out the tune with "Now I Never Will Forget How to Say the Alphabet." A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z. Now I never will forget how to say the alphabet. Which version do you prefer?
What's the purpose in doing that? I don't understand. It sounds like the original, but it's not the original. Why change it? Why change it? I promise we've done some really outstanding things in this world with the regular ABC song. I promise we have. So why change it? I don't get it, man. Like, this is almost as bad as Common Core. Not nowhere nearly as bad as Common Core, but it's right up there with it. Exactly. Why? What's the purpose? But look, A is for abnormal. There you go. Shout out to you, Crystal Blue. Yeah, A is for abnormal, awkward. Definitely. Yeah. Now, I want to know, someone says learning rhythm. I don't really get it. It's weird. Waste of time and money. You know what? That's probably what happened, because I think there might have been some kind of study or focus group or something that cost a lot of money, millions of dollars, and what they came back with was a new ABC song. I'm not saying that's how it happened. I'm just saying that's what it kind of sounds like when you put money into something to try and improve it. But look, man, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. We all learn how to sing the alphabet with that same song. Okay, I learned that when I was a little boy, and I've never forgotten it. So obviously it worked. It worked for millions of people, but that's what we do nowadays in 2024. That is what we do. All right, hold on. Let me see. Esso says it's to help with knowing the ordering of the alphabet faster without having seen the whole song. I mean, I guess I could see that, but how much of a difference is it going to make? How much would it really help you in your regular, I don't really, because even if singing the whole song does not take that much, you could sing the whole song in 5 seconds. If you're singing it quickly, it don't take that much time. So I don't really understand. It's weird. Now, speaking about cringeworthy songs, I have another one for you. Now, the first one we saw was just unnecessary. Might be some kind of red tape bureaucracy, something like that. I don't know. But this one is an original tune that was drafted, that was created, that was written in honor of JD Vance. Okay, so I think this one goes out to our VP pick, JD Vance. Check it out.
Childless cat ladies creeping around, nothing but cats on our minds. Cats running around with their tails in the air, they're flashing their feline behinds. Childless cat ladies, young and old, cats are our pleasure and joys. They warm up our laps when the weather is cold, and we spit on tuna and toys. Cats can't vote, but we sure can. They need us to do it, and how? We'll take our cats to the polling booth, and we'll vote with a mighty meow.
Okay, I ain't gonna play no more. I know. Hey, I ain't gonna play no more. You get the idea right there. So, childless cat ladies. Okay, that might be available on Apple, iTunes, Spotify, etc. Speaking of that, this podcast is also audio only. If you want it, it'll be on your favorite audio streaming platforms, whether it be Apple, iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, etc. Link for that will be in the description, or just go to your favorite audio streaming platforms and search ABL Live. I should pop right on up. I don't think they will be there. Maybe they will. They probably are not on those platforms, but I am. So if you want to hear this podcast audio only, whether you're on the road trucking, you just chilling in your house, I got it for you. All right. Somebody said it was kind of catchy. Hey, man, like, they have musical talent, but the subject matter ain't really my cup of tea. All right. Yeah, it's not bad. They have talent. They can sing and play the instruments, but the actual subject matter might be a little different. All right. It might be David. Hey, I'm with you, man. Get me off this rock. I'm right there with you, man. Elon talking about going to Mars. I might need to get a little bit of give me an invite, Elon. I'm just saying, but no, I'm not going nowhere. I just, kind of want to avoid certain things. But we got a whole lot going on here. We need to kind of skip forward to this whole, matter of fact, hold on. Before we get to the debate situation, before we get to that, matter of fact, let's go ahead and jump straight into it. Let's do it. So, y'all remember, I gotta rephrase what I'm about to say. The strategy from the Kamala Harris campaign is to make everything that was agreed to when Joe was a candidate apply to her. Okay? Just like this whole thing with the debate. So Trump agreed to debate Joe Biden on September the 10th on ABC. But since Joe Biden has dropped out, that debate, the way it was going to happen, can't happen because there's no Joe Biden. And people are so weird. They're talking about, oh, he agreed to debate the candidate. Huh? No, he didn't. He agreed to debate Joe Biden. When you have a boxing match, wrestling match, basketball game, you agree to go against a specific team or a specific person. Here's an example. Basketball. Y'all know I love basketball. Golden State Warriors have a game against the Houston Rockets. Then at the last minute, when the Warriors are at home, get ready to go out there and play, after they didn't study film and they've been training, preparing for certain things, they got a game plan, they got matchups, they got the whole situation. And when they go out on the floor, the Rockets are not there. It's the San Antonio Spurs. It's like, wait a minute. Hold on. Wait. We were supposed to play the Rockets. Where are the Rockets? Oh, you agreed to play a basketball game against the NBA team, but it could be somebody else. What? No. I did not agree to play that team. Okay. Same thing if you got a boxing match. One guy drops out and they replace him. Now, you can agree to it or not agree to it. They can't just do that and make you fight them. That's not how that works at all. So what they want to do on the Democratic side, they want to replace Kamala with no democratic process. I mean, the Democrats, I feel like I'm fighting more for Democrats' rights than they are. I'm doing more to help them see the light and understand the way things operate than they care to do for themselves. I'm on social media platforms. I'm on Shade Room, all these places. I'm telling people, hey, man, you can't do this. It's against the democratic process. What I'm saying is as follows. I'll leave a comment saying something like, the people voted for Joe Biden. They did not vote for Kamala. Joe Biden is who people voted for, and Joe Biden selected Kamala. We had no say-so in the matter. We did not vote for Kamala at all. They'll say, oh, well, she was on the ticket, so therefore she can just take his place. That's not how that works. Some think it's a line of succession argument in the same case of Joe Biden resigning and then Kamala takes over. That's not what happened here. Biden did not resign. And even if he did resign, Kamala would take over, but there would still need to be an election at the end to see whether there's going to be her that continues or it'd be Donald Trump with JD Vance. And if it's going to be a candidate running, they have to actually get voted for during the primary election. People out there don't know anything. Normies have no idea what a primary is. They don't know how it works. They just think it just selects somebody and then we vote for them. No, you have the ability to vote for people from a party during the primary. If that person is not voted for, then the delegates most certainly shouldn't be going to the DNC to make that person be the nominee. It's supposed to be the people vote, the delegates vote on behalf of the people who voted for who the people voted for to become the nominee. The nominee runs up against the other party's nominee during the general. That's how it works. But they bypass that whole process and don't nobody care on the left. It's not even a big thing. It's like, whatever. It's the craziest thing in the world. And you know why they don't care? Because they don't know any better. Democrats keep their constituency ignorant, uneducated, uninformed. And then they go to television and it gets reinforced where they straight up lie to you. They gaslight you. Usually the media, they'll gaslight you. Oh, that didn't. It never happened. He never said that. She never said that. They'll gaslight you. And the gaslighting has become just straight up bold-faced, not even no kind of way disguised as anything else other than a lie. Like when they said Kamala was never the border czar. For real, both Kamala and Joe and everybody else got on TV and said that she's the border czar. It was written in documentation on the White House's website she's the border czar. Mainstream media, oh, that never happened. So then normies will take that, and then when I say she was the border czar, they'll say Rachel Maddow told me she wasn't. See how that works? So we're fighting against that kind of thing. But here's a clip from Kamala's pet rally, whatever you want to call it, in Atlanta, in which she called out Trump over this whole debate kerfuffle. Check it out.
So he won't debate, but he and his running mate sure seem to have a lot to say about me.
Hold on, I'll start from the top. That might have been kind of low for the headphone users.
So he won't debate, but he and his running mate sure seem to have a lot to say about me. And by the way, don't you find some of their stuff to just be plain weird? Well, Donald.
And look, this face right here, look at his face. Like, do you want that to be your president for 4 years and for any amount of time? For 4 years, 4 days, 4 months, 4 weeks? You know who Kamala is for real? Before we even get to the whole race thing, which is important because her campaign is largely based on that. The reason why she's here at all is because of her race. Joe Biden said when he appointed her back in 2020 as a VP, I'm going to appoint a black female vice president. There was pressure on him from the community, from people that have no real connection to us, for real. They said we want a black female vice president, and that's what he did. Ketanji Brown Jackson, same thing. Black female Supreme Court justice. Okay, I'll appoint you. So, of course, they're there because of their race, because they said that's what they were there for. They said it on TV. But then again, they go to gaslighting. He never said that. He didn't do that. You're a racist. This person right here is a racially ambiguous, slightly younger Hillary Clinton. That's what she is. Pantsuit, annoying voice, not really that bright. She's the same thing as Hillary Clinton. And Hillary Clinton got curb stomped by Barack Obama, a black guy, in 2008. Listen, I did not think that he would pull it off. I did not think he would pull it off, what he did. Got curb stomped by Obama in 2008 during the primary of the Democratic Party. Couldn't he get to the general? And then she goes to the general in 2016 because they pretty much cleared the path for her to succeed, and then gets curb stomped by Trump. So if Hillary, who has a lot of cachet in politics, is more well-known, had already been the first lady for 8 years, if she's getting curb stomped by Obama and Trump, how can the great value version of her, the off-brand version, the Temu version of Hillary Clinton, how is she going to succeed when Hillary Clinton couldn't? It doesn't make any sense. If your opponent defeated the greater version of you, how do you win? I'm getting triggered.
I do hope you'll reconsider to meet me on the debate stage. Because as the saying goes, if you've got something to say, say it to my face.
Okay, so that is going to be the president? No way, no how. No way, no how. Listen, she already tried this before in 2020 and it didn't work. It didn't work, man. No matter how many rappers and whatnot you invite to Atlanta, no matter how many homeless people you try to bus in, or college students, or, these proud white guys, probably some kind of security, Secret Service or something like that. No matter how many of these guys you try to usher in there and make yourself look much bigger than what you are, it's not going to actually generate votes. It's not going to work. But she says that Trump is ducking because Trump does not want to debate on September the 10th as he agreed to with Joe Biden because Joe Biden's not here. And there's lawsuits, litigation against George Papadopoulos, which is going to give an interesting little nickname, and ABC. So you got litigation and the previous opponent dropped out. So Trump proposed to reschedule it. And before we get to the reschedule, here is a statement from Kamala's team about the whole situation. So it says, Donald Trump is running scared and trying to back out of the debate he already agreed to and running straight to Fox News to bail him out. Now, he did not agree to the debate with you. He agreed to it with Joe Biden. Last time I checked, Kamala Harris is not Joe Biden. She's the vice president, but last time I checked, the vice president is not on stage debating with the president in a presidential debate. It's the presidential debate. It's between the guy from the left, guy from the right, or whoever on stage debating each other, not the vice presidents. They have their own debates. I love to see JD Vance debate whoever Kamala's VP is, and JD Vance versus Kamala would have been a good debate if Biden was still in there. Now, let's continue. He needs to stop playing games and show up to the debate he already committed to on September the 10th. The vice president will be there one way or the other to take the opportunity to speak to a primetime national audience. We're happy to discuss further debates after the one both campaigns have already agreed to. Mr. Anytime, Anywhere, Any Place should have no problem with that unless he's too scared to show up on the 10th. This is pure gaslighting because when Trump made the whole anytime, anywhere, any place comment, it was about Joe Biden, not Kamala Harris. When he agreed to the September 10th debate, it was for Joe Biden, not Kamala Harris. Too scared? Why am I scared? I went to the NABJ and you didn't show up, Kamala Harris. So who's scared and who's not scared? They invited you, but they tried to get you there. You refused to go. Or I got to go to a funeral. Come on, man. Stop playing. I think Sheila Jackson Lee had died, so she went to that funeral. You could have, I mean, really, it would have been okay for you to miss that funeral. You'd have been all right. Send some flowers, my warm regards, and then go to the NABJ. But you didn't want to do that. You didn't want to do that. But then they go to gaslighting. Oh, well, she couldn't come to the NABJ, although Trump did because she's busy and she had a funeral to go to. Excuses, excuses. Excuses, excuses. Now, here's what Trump said. I have agreed with Fox News to debate Kamala Harris on Wednesday, September the 4th. The debate was previously scheduled against sleepy Joe Biden on ABC, but has been terminated in that Biden will no longer be a participant. And I am in litigation against ABC Network and, here's a little nickname for him, George Slopadopoulos, thereby creating a conflict of interest. The Fox News debate will be held in the great state of Pennsylvania at a site in an area to be determined. Now, he may do it in Pennsylvania to give a partial home court advantage to the other side because it's rumored, and it's pretty much been confirmed in my humble opinion, but I could be wrong, that Kamala's VP pick will be Josh Shapiro, who is the governor of Pennsylvania. Let me say I got his name right. Is it Josh Shapiro? Yeah. Now, they're kind of waffling on Shapiro because he's Jewish and they don't want to cause any problems with the left voting for a Jew to be the vice president. Anyway, let's continue here. Where are we at? The Fox News debate will be held in Pennsylvania. The moderators of the debate will be Brett Baer and Martha McCallum, and the rules will be similar to the rules of my debate with Sleepy Joe, who has been treated horribly by his party, but with a full arena audience. And then they continue. As everyone knows, Democrats have unconstitutionally taken a candidate who was acknowledged to be defeated and unceremoniously replace him with a new candidate. This had never been done before. It's a threat to democracy, but I am totally prepared to accept the results of this coup, quote unquote, and replace Joe on the debate stage with crazy Kamala Harris. I like the little nicknames, crazy Kamala, George Slopadopoulos. He's always done that. Now, some say this is kind of unnecessary, but man, at a certain point, it's like the ABC song, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So they spent millions, that's something else. They spent a lot of money on the campaign against Joe. And whoever your opponent is, you have to be strategic against them specifically. What about them? Their age and their record and the family history, all that kind of stuff. You spend millions on ads attacking Hunter Biden and the crack and the gun. And then Joe with the 10 for the big guy, his previous track record going all the way back to 1973 as a Delaware senator, the crime bill, the Brady Act, all of that. You're doing a bunch of spending to fight against that person becoming the president again. And then they just switch it at the 0 hour, no election. And we got to go a whole different direction. We can talk about California and Gavin Newsom and Nancy Pelosi and things of this nature. It's a whole different campaign. You can't just replace somebody and have it go seamlessly. That's not how it works. So basically, he wants to go ahead and just get it rocking. Let's have the debate on September the 4th. I'm looking forward to it. So basically what's happening right now, in my opinion, is what's happening right now is that they are negotiating openly. They're negotiating. One side says, no, I don't want to do it. Let's do this. Other side says, no, I don't want to do that. Let's do this instead. Back and forth until they agree upon what's going on. But ultimately, I think they'll find some kind of solution. And then somebody said about Pennsylvania, it's strategic. Okay, you'll go get a guy in Pennsylvania because Trump does well there. Trump will win Pennsylvania, in my opinion, and they're trying to get a hometown guy to be the VP to have a better chance in that state. That's probably what's going on. If your main man, Fetterman, didn't look crazy and he didn't have the brain injury, they might vote for him, or they may select him to be the VP. But Josh Shapiro, obviously a lot more clean cut, political. That'd be perfect for them. Now let's keep on going here. All right, let's keep on rocking and rolling. We got some reactions from mainstream media. We got a whole lot going on. Okay, we have a whole lot happening here. Some very interesting reactions, if I do say so myself. But I think first is Kamala. Yeah, I believe so. Because we got to get to the whole thing about our race and all that kind of stuff. And again, I'm not so caught up on race like that, but it is a thing. It is most certainly a thing. So let's go to let's go to, I think this is after some attack happened. It might have been an attack in the Middle East. And you got Kamala and Joe out there in the helicopter talking.
I'm still.
And RP to the headphone users. But let's watch this here.
You're stuck with me as president for a while, kid. There's no way out, okay? You got me for at least another 100 or 90 days or so. I'm still. You're stuck with me as president for a while, kid. There's no way out, okay? You got me for at least another 100 or 90 days or so.
There's no way out. This is our leader. And I've not seen him in a while. Ever since they said Kamala's going to be the person to run, we've not seen Joe. They pretty much put him in the crowd chamber like, all right, man, you're off the hook. You got some time here. You could just pretty much chill. So don't go to no more events. Don't do any more speaking. You may say 5 words every 5 days. That's pretty much what he's going to do now because Kamala's going to do the heavy lifting. Okay. She'll be the one. All right. A much younger person at 60 years old. That's crazy when you're saying 60 is young compared to his 1,000 years. Now, what she'll do right here is how she always does. Okay. And a big part of the reason why people don't like Kamala is because she's just really bad. She's bad when it comes to being able to speak, to articulate herself. Overall, she's just pretty terrible. She is pretty terrible. All right, where we at here? I got it queued up. Y'all give me a second. And if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. Now, if you've ever heard Kamala speak, it's a lot of word salad with zero nutrition. You're going to get iceberg lettuce, straight up water. You're not getting no green juice, no nothing. You might as well just drink some water straight from the creek. That'd be what you get from her talk. No substance, no nothing. Now, here is Kamala in that same situation, the same place with Joe.
This is just an extraordinary testament to the importance of having a president who understands the power of diplomacy and understands the strength that rests in understanding the significance of diplomacy and strengthening alliances. This is an incredible day. This is just an extraordinary testament to the importance of having a president who understands the power of diplomacy and understands the strength that rests in understanding the significance of diplomacy and strengthening alliances.
Look, man, what in the world was that? The power of diplomacy. You know, she sounds like Oswald Bates from A Living Color. That's how she sounds. And it's like, what are you even saying? Do you think that you sound good when you say that? Do you think you sound smart? To me, all I hear is mumbo jumbo, word salad. All right, hold on. I got to show you guys Oswald Bates yet again, because that's what I heard right there. And we got a lot more examples. And again, RIP to the headphone users. Let's show some of this so you can kind of understand what's going on. Then we shall keep on rocking and rolling. All right, here we go.
Before we vote on your request for parole, we do have some questions. Do you think you'll be able to adjust to life on the outside?
Allow me to partologize myself. Suppositorily speaking, my incarceration has forced, you understand, the ventilation of, shall I say, my dairy air. And upon my discharge, I will ejaculate my mind to the prophylactic of the bowels of society.
That's how she sounds. Whenever I hear the politicos talking crazy, bunch of big words, or words that don't really make sense when you put them in a sentence together, when you're trying to sound eloquent, when you're trying to sound like you have a really just grand idea, and you got to get it out to the people, that's how they sound. Just like that. That's all I hear every single time. Okay, and we have more. We have more from Kamala. If you enjoy Oswald Bates, if you enjoyed Kamala, oh yeah, we got a whole, it's whole videos where it's nothing but that going on. Some of the sayings that she has, the passage of time, the whatever. It's all kind of stuff she does. Unburdened by what has been. That's one of her things. Unburdened by what has been, the passage of time, significance of this, the power of that. You got about 4 or 5 phrases you use on a regular everyday basis, and that is the bedrock of anything that you say when it's not on a teleprompter. Can we get an expanded vocabulary, ma'am? Can we do some Toastmasters meetings? Can we do something to improve your public speaking? I mean, come on, man. You are the vice president. And before this, you were the attorney general of California. You were a senator, a U.S. senator going to D.C., not a state senator. You were a U.S. senator in California, the attorney general of California, now the vice president, and you're trying to become the president. And at 60 years old, you can't speak publicly. That's not a good thing. Now, look, if you're counting cat hairs in your apartment in San Francisco, that's one thing. But you're trying to have a really high office. Can we do a little bit better, perhaps? Now, here's Kamala back a while ago. I'm not sure when this was. Years ago, months ago, I don't know. But here she is railing against Christmas for some reason. I guess she has a beef with Santa Claus, with good old Saint Nick, with the reindeer and the gifts and the milk and cookies at the chimney. I don't know what the beef is, but let's hear her talk about this right quick.
And when we all sing happy tunes and sing Merry Christmas and wish each other Merry Christmas, these children are not going to have a Merry Christmas. How dare we speak Merry Christmas? How dare we? And when
I mean, look, okay, I guess because people are suffering and there's hard times going on, we shouldn't be really singing Merry Christmas because, hey, man, because some people have a hard time in life. There's some bad things that go on. We can enjoy Christmas, man. So check it out. No more Christmas. If you donate to children on Christmas, don't do that anymore, okay? Because Kamala says we can't celebrate that while we got these kids suffering. All right. Like, don't celebrate that anymore if you really want to be for the people, according to Kamala. All right. And we have more. Oh, there's so much more. Now, this is Kamala doing some type of phone interview or some kind of phone campaigning. And she pulled a Joe Biden reading the entire teleprompter. Now, the line is, and when we fight, and then in between, and when we fight and we win, the line is, everyone will say it in unison. Okay. So it's supposed to be, and when we fight, we win. But everyone says we win. I don't know who that is. Maybe the audience that's there. Maybe somebody that might be right next to her. Maybe people on the Zoom. I have no idea. But she reads the entire thing the same way Biden would read the entire teleprompter without understanding that some things are directions for him and not to be written. It's not part of the speech.
And when we fight, everyone will say in unison, we win. And when we fight, everyone will say in unison, we win.
That's what she does. And it's countless videos like this. We got some more. Oh, and here we go with the passage of time. This is a classic one. Classic. This, and she always uses this little line. It's not a one-off. It's not just one time. There's a compilation of dozens of times where she's used this.
And talking about the significance of the passage of time, right? The significance of the passage of time. So when you think about it, there is great significance to the passage of time in terms of what we need to do to lay these wires, what we need to do to create these jobs. And there is such great significance to the passage of time when we think about a day in the life of our children. And talking about the significance.
So that was a whole clip right there. All right. Now, it didn't loop. You were not hearing the loop. It played one time. I played it one time. So you can't say, oh, Abel, you just looped it to make it sound bad. No, that was all one clip. I'll play the whole clip one more time so you can count how many times you used the whole passage of time and all that kind of stuff. I think I counted 3 in that one clip. Of this clip was less than 30 seconds, about 27 seconds of a clip. And you heard what she said throughout the entire time.
And talking about the significance of the passage of time, right? The significance of the passage of time. So when you think about it, there is great significance to the passage of time in terms of what we need to do to lay these wires, what we need to do to create these jobs. And there is such great significance to the passage of time when we think about a day in the life of our children. And
4 times. I mean, look, that's not a good president. That's not, you can't even really speak publicly. That's going to be a bad thing. Part of your job as a president is to go out there and do events, to speak, to be kind of a PR person for the country. That's part of your job. Okay, that's what Trump does. You're doing these rallies all over the place. You got this event and that event. You got a whole day scheduled with events. So if you have a problem speaking in front of an audience, it's going to be an issue going forward. If you sound crazy, using the same thing over and over again, you got a short vocabulary, that's not going to bode well for you at all. Okay, so maybe you shouldn't be the one running. Okay. And here's the other one, unburdened by what has been. What is she saying? That's a great question. I'm glad you asked, David Gray. I don't know. You tell me. All I heard was passage of time. That's all I heard. Now, she had other words that were kind of wedged in there in between passage of time, but I don't really know what she was trying to say. Some people just say things. You know what that is? You can't read. She don't know how to read. I see that all the time. People that don't have books in their house, that have never read a book before. Like when you have kids that have never read a book before, they don't read it all, they have a hard time when they get to be adults of being able to read. They have problems reading comprehension. So when you can't read properly, it's difficult for you to be able to speak because your vocabulary, number one, is limited. And number two, you don't really understand the way words agree with each other. You don't understand sentence structure. You don't understand how to tell a story, how to get your idea out there in the ways to be able to be understood by the people. You have no idea. All you're going to do is just say things that you think kind of fit together. Now, I will understand if you are an ESL, this is your second language. I'm more understanding of that. Okay, I get it. If you're coming from a different country, you speak in French, for example, and then you learn English, like if you're living in Montreal, French, Canada, and you go to college in Canada for a year, and then you go to Howard, maybe you might not have the best English skills. That was Kamala, wasn't it? Who was born in Oakland and lived around the Midwest for a while, but from 12 to like 20, she lived in French Canada. Maybe that explains why she doesn't have a good vocabulary. You got a lot of French words in there, but how many English words do you have? Now, here is the whole thing about, what's this phrase right here? This is the unburdened by what has been.
Don't hear no. I eat no for breakfast. Don't hear no. Always believe in what can be, unburdened by what has been.
So, yeah, I eat no for breakfast. I eat no for breakfast. Okie dokie. And I'm unburdened by what has been. I think I have another clip there. Yeah, it's like a whole thing. I ain't gonna play this long clip right here. I won't play the entire thing, but it's like a 4-minute clip. And again, I'm not gonna play the entire thing at all. It's a 4-minute clip of her talking about the unburdened by what has been.
I can imagine what can be and be unburdened by what has been. You know? What can be unburdened by what has been.
What can be unburdened by what has been.
What can be unburdened by what has been.
What does it actually mean, though? What does unburdened by what has been? What does that mean? What do you think she thinks that means?
What can be unburdened by what has been. What we can see, what we believe can be unburdened by what has been. What 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 can be.
And it's always the same kind of hand gestures. So you're raising your hand to say what can be, and then you're kind of doing that gesture to say what has been.
Unburdened by what has been.
Who we can be.
Look, it's the same thing.
Unburdened by who we have been.
What can be unburdened by what has been. Where we can be, unburdened by where we have been, and unburdened by where we are right
now. That was less than 1 minute of that. 51 seconds. It's an entire 4-minute clip of her saying the same thing in different times, from California days to vice president, all of that, everything. All right. But hey, President Harris, I think not. I think not. Duncan Gonut says, I have no idea what it means. Your guess is as good as mine, says Griselda. Hey, I guess we could pretty much just say it's whatever. Now, speaking about this whole thing about Kamala being Indian, this kind of blew up. This blew up. Now, it shouldn't have blown up because Kamala had always identified herself as Indian. And my thing is this: I don't care what color you are, what race you are, where you from, as long as you're a good person and you're not breaking the law, hey, it's all good. But when you campaign on that, see, look, you campaign on it. I'm the first Indian this, the first Indian that, Indian, and you campaign on, you use the Indian thing to help you when you're running for office. Now you use the black thing for the same purpose. I don't like that. That comes off as fake. You could be mixed. You don't have to claim one or the other. You could be biracial. That's totally fine. You could say I'm black and I'm Indian. That's fine. Although I'm not really sure if she's black, because that's kind of a stretch if you ask me. I mean, when you see your parents, listen, I'm not a genealogist. I'm not one of these guys that knows everything. But I mean, come on, man. The pictures tell a story. Now, I'm going to show her parents young with the black and white picture. Then I'm going to show them when they're older and full color. Well, at least the father. I'm going to show them. And again, the only reason why I'm doing this is because she has been campaigning on her race. And I don't care what you're lying about. If you are a liar, I'm going to call you out on it. If you're saying things that are not matching up, you got a different story, I'm going to call you out on it. It's simple. If you say that you're from the United States and you're an American black person, but you were living in Canada for 10 years of your early life, your formative years, you went to middle school, high school, and college in Canada. In French Canada at that, in Montreal. That's kind of important to mention. Why would you leave that out? Because you're trying to just appeal to one particular piece of the base. You're trying to just cash in on the black card, which if you got a black card, it's pretty much has no balance on it. Your black card got about 15 cents on it. We saw the EBT card in the beginning with 18 bands on it. Yours got about 15 cents. You can't even buy a donut, a cup of coffee, nothing with your race card. Your race card get declined. Okay, but because you got the media backing you up and the politicals backing you up, your race card got bailed out, like SVB, all these other companies. Okay, so look, y'all seen the picture. I've done the video. I've done a short video, long video. I've been speaking about Kamala's ancestry. And again, I don't want nobody trying to attack me talking about, oh, you're racist, ABL. Who cares, ABL? If she the one that cares, she the one that brings it up. If it's not really a big deal and you want to be both, then just do that. But look, that's her right there on the left with the red dot and everything. And there's Mama, Pawpaw. There's her sister. I'm not sure who these kids are right there. This is her grandparents right here. So at best, you're biracial, which is fine. But to say you're black is kind of a stretch. It's a stretch. It really is. Now, this is her parents when they were young. You see Kamala obviously now. This is her parents when they were young. Now, the mom, clearly from the Indian subcontinent. We saw the mama and the pawpaw, clearly Indian. Nobody's going to deny that. 100% Indian. Indian. Shout out to the Indians, though. Now, her father is kind of controversial. Some say, I think Judge Joe Brown said, that he's not black at all. Judge Joe Brown said that her father, Professor Harris, told him that he has no black at all, that he's Indian and Irish. That's where the Harris name, his name, Donald Harris, that's Irish, if I'm not mistaken. Okay. Some may say that it sounds like a black American name. First of all, he's not black American at all. He is from Jamaica, but he has no American connection as far as his ancestry at all. He told Judge Joe Brown allegedly that he's Irish and Indian. At best, I'll say he's black and white. At best. At best. Mariah Carey type situation. Okay. Now, this is him now. Okay. That's the father now. At best, you're biracial. In my opinion, black and white. That's what I see when I look at him, but I could be wrong. So, last time I checked, black and white plus Indian does not equal black. But that's just me. And you campaigning on that. So then when Trump questions this, they call him a racist. But how is he a racist? Let's check this out.
Some of your own supporters, including Republicans on Capitol Hill, have labeled Vice President Kamala Harris, who is the first black and Asian American woman to serve as vice president and be on a major party ticket, as a DEI hire. Is that acceptable language to you? And will you tell those Republicans and those supporters to stop it?
How do you define DEI? Go ahead. How do you define
diversity, equity, inclusion?
Okay, yeah, go ahead. Is that what your definition?
That is
give me a
literally
definition
the words
then. Would you give me a definition
DEI.
of that? Give me a definition of
Sir,
that.
I'm asking you a question, a very direct question.
Define it for me if you
I just defined it, sir. Do you believe that Vice President Kamala Harris is only on the ticket because she is a black woman?
Well, I can say no. I think it's maybe a little bit different. So I've known her a long time indirectly, not directly very much. And she was always of Indian heritage, and she was only promoting Indian heritage. I didn't know she was black until a number of years ago when she happened to turn black, and now she wants to be known as black. So I don't know, is she Indian or is she black?
She has always
But you know
identified
what?
as a black woman. She went to a historically black college.
I respect either one, but she obviously doesn't, because she was Indian all the way, and then all of a sudden she made a turn and she became a black person.
Just to be clear, sir, do you believe that she is? I think
somebody should look into that too when you continue in a very hostile, nasty tone.
So, I mean, now some say, who cares? The policy should be the main thing. But number one, he's being asked a question. And number two, he told a truthful answer. I mean, and my thing is, if I was going to vote for Kamala or a Democrat, which I'm not going to do, and then I found out that she lied about something like that, then I'm like, why are you lying about that? If you can't even tell the truth about your ancestry, then why would I trust you with anything else? You can't tell that you starting off lying. That's a red flag. That's an immediate red flag. Let's just say, aside from the race, aside from Kamala, Trump, whatever, let's just say this. Okay, you're going to get into a business arrangement with someone. Now, you're just negotiating, you're just talking, and you're asking questions. Okay, how much will it cost for this particular thing to get done? How much time will it take? You're asking questions, and from the beginning, they're lying to you. They're giving you answers you know are not true. They're just lying to you off the rip. So before we go any further, I'm going to go ahead and just cancel this arrangement because I can't trust you already. Already, I can't trust you because you're lying to me. I don't like liars at all. The people that I want to be around me are going to tell the truth no matter what. Whether it hurts my feelings, but at this point, the feelings I don't have feelings to get hurt. There's nothing that not you guys, there's nothing that the normies, the mouth breathers, the room temperature IQ people out there can say to me that's going to hurt my feelings. I get more offended at somebody lying than somebody trying to insult me, because you're insulting my intelligence and you're trying to deceive me. You're trying to rob me. You're trying to con me. I don't like that. That's the whole thing. It's not even about skin color or nothing. It's about being a liar, being a phony, being a poser, being a pretender, not somebody who should be running for president. I wouldn't vote for her no way because of the policy. But if I liked her policy and I see that going on, I'm like, hey, Kamala, what's going on? You already lying right now? You didn't even get elected yet, and you're already lying. You got selected, not elected, to run for president, and you already telling lies. Now, we got one more piece here. There was a piece on her ancestry on CNN some years ago.
My mother, who raised me and my sister, was a proud woman. She was a brown woman. She was a woman with a heavy accent.
And her mother, Shamla Gopalan, was also the biggest influence in Kamala Harris's life.
The answer is absolutely yes, Joe.
After the big announcement, Harris's sister wrote in a Twitter post, "You can't know who Kamala Harris is without knowing who our mother was." In 1958, a precocious 19-year-old Indian, Gopalan traveled thousands of miles from her home and family to pursue a doctorate in nutrition and endocrinology in America. She soon became an active civil rights crusader while studying at UC Berkeley.
But once she went there,
UC Berkeley, wow, that's a red flag right there, ain't it?
she almost felt free. And she took part in politics. She used to bring a whole series of literature, leftist literature from Karl Popper's, he was a great philosopher.
Karl Popper, who is that? Do you guys know who Karl Popper is?
In her book, Harris says, "There is no title or honor on earth I'll treasure more than to say I am Shamla Gopalan Harris's daughter." Harris's visits to India with her mother kept her connected to her roots. Her grandfather, who had strong views on humanitarian issues, worked closely with officials to reallocate refugees. Their conversations had a strong influence on her.
Those walks along the beach in India really planted something in my mind and created a commitment in me before I even realized it.
And let's pause. Some of you guys saying in the comments, she said she celebrated Kwanzaa. There is no way that she ever celebrated Kwanzaa. You growing up in the household with a mom from the Indian subcontinent, where are you celebrating Kwanzaa at? Like, how does that connect? How does that make any sense? And your father's not even an American. So how are you celebrating the African-American holiday when ain't no African-Americans in your family?
That has led me to where I am today.
Harris's maternal uncle, Gopalan Balachandran, who lives in Delhi, tells us how the senator turns to her amma, which means mother in Tamil, for guidance even after her death.
I don't have to tell her, make your mother proud. She said, what are you telling me? Everything that I do, I ask myself, would Amma approve of this?
So, I mean, come on, man. Like, we don't even really got to belabor the point. All I want is people to be real. Whatever you are, whoever you are, just be that. Just be whoever you are and have that be what it is. Okay? Now, let's go to some people talking about Kamala. Just regular normies. We got normies that like her and normies that don't like her. Okay? Here we have a white woman for Kamala. Check it out.
So I just got kicked out of a gender reveal party. Everybody's clapping, it's a boy. And I just happen to say, well, let's give it 10 years and see if it sticks. Grandma clutches her pearl. I'm leaving. The receipt's in the bag. I got them a Pride onesie from Target.
Yeah, so that kind of person showing up at your front door, I don't think you're really going to want that. That might not be the way. Okay? That might not be the way. All right. And here's JD Vance talking about it.
Former President's comments yesterday to the National Association of Black Journalists, where he said that Vice President Harris is, quote, all of a sudden black. As a father of 3 biracial children, did those comments give you pause at all?
They don't give me pause at all. Look, all he said is that Kamala Harris is a chameleon. She goes to Georgia 2 days ago. She was raised in Canada. She puts on a fake Southern accent. She is everything to everybody, and she pretends to be somebody different depending on which audience she's in front of. I think it's totally reasonable for the president to call that out, and that's all he did. I mean, look, she's running as a tough on crime prosecutor, even though she implemented open border policies. She's saying that she wants to support the police, yet she wanted to defund the police just 3 years ago. It's totally reasonable to call out the fact that she pretends to be somebody different depending on the audience she's talking to.
Very well said. That's all I was saying the whole time. It's like, you're a chameleon. You're not really a real person. And I want people to be real. Whatever you are, whoever you are, just be that. Just be honest about who you are. That's all I'm saying. And if you can't do that, then why should you be the president? I would not want that kind of person to be a babysitter, a dog sitter, a babysitter, let alone the president. If you're untrustworthy, if you're untrustworthy, you're not going to be in my house. And I don't want you in the White House either. Yeah, shout out to the chameleon emojis. Shout out to Planet Perma. And I know I told your name, but I'm sorry. But yeah, that's the main thing. Now, before we get into some more reactions, this is the NABJ president, Ken Lemon. Because remember, at the NABJ, the event where Trump was asked a question about the race and the Indian and all of that, Kamala was supposed to be there. Now, here is the president of the NABJ, a black guy, defending his conference, saying, hey, we invited her, but she didn't show up. We invited both. Only one showed up. Check it out. Again, this is the National Association of Black Journalists president, Ken Lemon.
Invited both of them. We got a yes.
Let's start from the top because we got some sound issues. And let it go.
We invited both of them. We got a yes from one of them. We'd love to get a yes from Kamala as well. Us as journalists, people who go into and have very uncomfortable conversations for the sake of our members, this is an important time. I understand people are disappointed. I understand people are upset. It is our job also to offer that opportunity for those candidates to be here.
So it's weird because Kamala's campaign will say that Trump is afraid to debate because he agreed to a debate on September the 10th with Joe Biden. And since Joe isn't there anymore, he doesn't want to do it on that day. He wants to reschedule to a different day and a different venue. But they say he doesn't want to show up and he's scared. But then when the NABJ invites Trump and Kamala didn't show up. Now, again, this is National Association of Black Journalists. Why wouldn't the pro-black, black woman, first black female presidential candidate, artist that and the third, or could be the first black female president? I think there was a candidate before her, but it doesn't really matter. You want to be a groundbreaking black woman, but then when the black organization invites you to a thing that they always invite every candidate to whenever they have it, all of a sudden you got better things to do. All right, that's what's up. That's fine. That's totally fine.
All right, check this out.
Now, a lot of you guys may not understand the experience that we have in the community when it comes to quote unquote coming out as a conservative. Listen, when I say it would have been better to come out as a LGBT, as a blue hair, a destiny type guy, it's easier to come out like that. You get more support in the community if you him downstairs, if you're LGBT, if you're a little light in the loafers. You get more support in the community for that than you do by being a conservative person or even a guy that votes for Trump. You might not even be conservative. You want to vote Trump, you're going to get treated very badly, which is why a lot of guys, they kind of stay low. They don't say too much. They kind of are Trump supporters and conservatives in the closet. Here's an example. And I think this, some may say it's a skit. I don't think so. I think this is dead real. I've experienced this kind of behavior in real life. So let's go ahead and check it out.
All right, check this out. I'm about to go in here with this Trump shirt on. Every Sunday, as you can see, we have a family dinner. Everybody's here. It's about to be live. And I hope I don't get slapped in the face. Let's go.
Now, for context, he's wearing like a wife beater that has Trump on it. And it's just like he took out some letters and pasted them on there. And his family does not like it one bit.
Don't get your ass out of here.
There's our president. I feel sorry for any African American that go for Trump. He's very hateful and racist.
Y'all ain't never backing us up. But y'all never black us up, girl. Y'all don't get it. I don't need no white girlfriend, but I go for Trump. Y'all heard that? Y'all heard that's all right. Yeah, that's right.
Can we got on him? I know. You can believe him, but you won't care. I love you for believing him. Come to family event and do that.
All right, I'm about to go. I'm about to go.
Is you coming up or you going down?
We got Trump. We got Trump.
We got
Yeah, that's kind of how it is. Now, some are going to say that could be kind of a skit because I don't think Mama going to tear my man's shirt off like that if it ain't already cut and it was something they told her to do. But it's like that. It's really like that. Listen, I have an older cousin that's like my uncle, right? You understand? Like he's like my parents' age. Every day on my Facebook page, when I post something, negative comment. I don't even really see it no more. I don't even really get mad at my cousin. Okay, because his son, my cousin, he's like my age. We on the same page. Shout out to you if you're watching, my man. So I'm not mad at your father at all. I'm not mad because I know you're like 70 years old. You're going to be who you are. You're not going to change. Typically, you may have an epiphany at late age, but usually that's not really how it goes. You have change when you get to be young, when you're young and you starting to experience life, you have a change. But 70 years old, you're probably going to be who you are for the rest of your life, for the most part. But it's like that. I've experienced that for sure. Absolutely. In family, 100%. That's why a lot of us just kind of stay low because it gets deeper than that too. You could be kicked out of certain organizations. You're part of certain groups that can help you economically. You can lose business, just like the guy that was in Atlanta, right? Remember the guy that hosted the event for Trump at his barbershop? And he was in the video and everything. This man's in the video, smiling, talking to Trump, all of that. Then he came back and said, oh, I didn't know. They tricked me. I didn't know it was going to be a campaign event. And then the Trump team produced a whole contract where he signed it, put his shop name, his address, phone number, email address, everything. He might as well put a blood sample on it with his thumb, like a blood oath. He might as well have done that. But you know the reason why he tried to come back and retract it is because he got a bunch of kickback, unknown numbers, threats, customers leaving. That's what happens to you. But you can't be afraid of that. You got to be able to shed certain people or leave them behind for now. And then once they're ready, they come back to you. I've had so many phone calls, people calling me, apologizing. I'm sorry, man. Like, I was cussing you out back in 2016. I apologize. You were right the whole time. And I've been watching your content. I've been binge watching you. That's how it goes. I don't even really get mad. I don't get mad at all. All right. Yeah, somebody said Cal Rittenhouse. Same thing with Cal Rittenhouse. Because Cal Rittenhouse, what happened was he put out a video saying that he does not support Trump anymore. And then, like, about a day later, 24 hours later, maybe, he retracted it and was like, well, you know, it was unproductive, all this, that, and the third. All right. So let me go ahead and put that up. That's a good segue, actually, to put that up. All right. And let's see if we can. There we go.
Hi, I'm Kyle Rittenhouse, Outreach Director for Texas Gun Rights. A lot of people are upset that I said I'm going to be writing in Ron Paul for President of the United States. And that is true. I will be writing in Ron Paul. Unfortunately, Donald Trump had bad advisors making him bad on the Second Amendment, and that is my issue. If you cannot be completely uncompromisable on the Second Amendment, I will not vote for you, and I will write somebody else in. We need champions for the Second Amendment, or our rights will be eaten away and eroded each day. I support my decision, and I have no takebacks.
So that's Kyle Rittenhouse. Now, he has since denounced this video. He put the video out, and then like a day later, he said, well, you know, it was hasty for me to do something like that. And he said he spoke to the administration, well, to people in Trump's team, not the administration. He spoke to Trump's team, and then they assured him that Trump would be rock solid on gun rights. Now, on one hand, I do understand where he's coming from, where Cal's coming from, because Trump did do the whole bump stock thing, the bump stock ban, which has been overturned by the Supreme Court. And then also he supported some red flag laws, things of this nature. So I understand why you would have some concern about Trump and his record on gun rights. But there's two things. First of all, if you think that way and there's an issue, if you could reach out to the team, go ahead and do it and ask for clarification. The second thing is, even if you really believe that, you shouldn't say it publicly, because you saying that publicly does more damage than your individual vote would do because of who you are and your platform. So it wasn't a good decision to make. But I understand why he would make it. Look, he's 21 years old. Understand this. Kyle Rittenhouse deleted those two diddlers when he was 17 years old. This is a very young man here. He was not even an adult when that whole thing happened in Kenosha, Wisconsin in 2020. So he's 21 years old. What were you doing at 21 years old? Did you have your right mind? Did you have everything figured out as far as life and politics and things of this nature? No, not usually. That's why you got to be 35 years old to be a president, because you have more life experience. So you understand things a little bit better, and you're better able to handle things like this. So it's a learning experience. I think that it's just a thing that, like, right when he said it and I saw it, I was like, not really moved, because I know that he's a young man still trying to figure it out. You know, so I was just like, whatever. Even if he still felt that way, I wouldn't even be mad, because he's young. And you might just go through some changes, and it's okay. It's totally fine. My main thing is, how about you as a person? Are you going to be in society and be productive, non-productive, counterproductive? Who are you going to be at the end of the day? That'd be my question. So, yeah, I wasn't really concerned about it, but he went ahead and backtracked on that like a day later. So it's fine. It is what it is. So shout out to him. Hopefully he just stays on the straight and narrow, and, you know, he's all good. Now, let's go back. We got a few more clips here. We got a few clips of people in the community and beyond talking about Trump, talking about Kamala. And I like what I'm seeing right here. You know, one thing I want to say before we continue, when I first got on YouTube in 2015, part of my goal was to see more black commentators like me on the space talking like this, because I wanted people that could relate to me to be able to hear me and feel more at home. Before I came in, there wasn't really anybody doing it. I think Alfonso Rachel, shout out to him. Alfonso Rachel was around, but he wasn't really a big name. But I watched Alfonso Rachel. It wasn't really anybody else in 2015 that was a black conservative online. But when I came out And at the same time, I think Candace Owens was coming out as Red Pill Black. Then she became Candace. And then you had Brandon Tatum at the same time, a little bit later after me. My goal was to increase our numbers visibly, publicly, rather than having to hide in the closet because you don't want to get your short tore off by Meemaw at the family reunion because you got Trump on it. Rather than having that happen, I wanted to make it be more cool and accessible for everybody to be conservative, not just you got to be a white person or something like that, because it's not race specific. Wanting freedom for yourself, freedom for your family, your country, having your gun rights, having low tax. These are not race specific ideologies. So ever since then, I've seen the big explosion of us. And that was my goal. And I'm proud that I was able to help accomplish that goal. Not just me, obviously, but a lot of us were able to accomplish that goal. So this woman, remember the situation at the Chick-fil-A where they were in Atlanta, and then there was a black woman that hugged Trump. This is her right here. Now, I forget her name. I don't want to say her name wrong. I'm going to look it up after we watch this.
They don't want to talk policy. They just want to use propaganda to steal your vote. The left is trying to tout this woman as a savior for the black community, but all she's done is hurt the black community since she came into the game. See, the first step in destroying the black community is to dismantle the black family. So aside from her record as a prosecutor, why don't we ask Mrs. Willie Brown if Kamala Harris cares about black families?
Uh-oh. Because let's not forget, when Kamala was with the much older man, Willie Brown, he was like in his 60s and she was in her late 20s. He was married at the time when they had their affair, when she was his sugar baby. But yeah, shout out to her. If you guys know her name, y'all let me know in the comments. I think her last name was Washington, but I want to say the right thing. Yeah, let me see. And her name is Michaela Montgomery. Yes, shout out to Michaela Montgomery. Shout out to her. And if you guys don't remember, this is her right here on the left. That's the same person. And then they were trying to like discredit her, talking about she's a black conservative activist, all this, that, and the third. Well, look, if you living in Atlanta and you're a conservative person and you're organizing campus events and then you hear that Trump is coming, why not go? And why not tell your friends and whatnot at college to come on? Why wouldn't you do that? It's perfect. That's what you're there for. Why would you not do that? It's crazy. But yeah, shout out to her, Michaela Montgomery. Young lady, bright future. Shout out to you. And if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. All right. Now, here's my man. I don't know his name. Talking about this whole thing about calling conservatives weird. And he's listing off the ways that the other side are, it's kind of like the pot calling the kettle black. You calling us weird, but what about what's going on with y'all?
Hey, y'all see the media's new trend. They're trying to paint conservatives as weird. Well, let me tell you what's weird. Saying that men can be women and women can be men, that's weird. Letting full-grown men participate in women's sports, that's weird. Grown men parading around naked, gyrating in front of children, that's weird. Placing pornographic books geared toward children in schools, that's weird. Taking your children to the library to let half-naked men cosplaying as women read them a book, that's weird. Encouraging children to physically and medically castrate themselves, that's weird. Glorifying the killing of healthy babies in the womb and calling it healthcare, that's weird. Saying my body, my choice, at the same time trying to force everybody to get the COVID vaccine, that's weird. Having artists twerk for the black vote, that's weird.
I mean, I don't really see the lie that was told. That's pretty much on point. That is pretty much on point, and we have some more here. All right, and to my fellows out there, please stay focused. Please stay focused.
Why? Because I'm not a victim.
And then she's responding to a comment that says, "It's black people like you that make all black people look bad. So sad." That's the comment that she's replying to.
Why? Because I'm not a victim.
Because I don't blame the white man for all my downfalls? Because I take accountabilities for my actions? Is that why? You're a victim, I'm a victor. Yeah, I actually make you look good.
So yeah, shout out to her and to the fellas. Her eyes are up here, okay? The eyes are above, okay? Let's just stay focused. Shout out to Umar Johnson. And we got some more.
Hey.
All right, hold on one second and let's roll it up.
Hey.
Yeah?
I heard somebody call you racist online.
Now, the person said, hey, I heard somebody call you racist online.
I love being called racist for not supporting Kamala. I mean, I am also the one that is 100% black, married to a black man, raising and birthed black children. So follow me for more racist conservative content. And this right there. See that?
And she's pointing to the Trump bumper stickers on the back of her vehicle. One says, don't blame me, I voted for Trump. And the other one says, Trump, keep America great.
Hey.
So yeah, that I'm loving that I'm seeing a lot of this out there. It's a lot of this. I feel like I'm seeing much more anti-Kamala content from the community side than I am seeing pro-Kamala content. A lot of the pro-Kamala stuff comes from the mainstream media, but for the people, it's a little bit different. Now, here's my man, straight from the Indian subcontinent, giving his 2 cents on the whole Kamala kerfuffle.
Kamala Harris, the Indian community will not be voting for you. Specifically because you did not mention that coconut tree was from India. Kamala, your mother is my auntie. And your auntie has never come to my baptism or my graduation or any of my family's birthday parties. Kamala, have you ever seen a Mammootty film? Kamala, if you were truly half Indian, then you would know who Mammootty is. Kamala, the only Indian friend that you have is Priyanka Chopra. And that bitch is white. Kamala, I revoke your mango lassi access. You are not allowed to use cumin or turmeric in your cooking ever again. Kamala, unless I see the red dot on your forehead, do not be going after any Indians to vote for you. Don't act like us. Don't act like us. Don't act like us.
So yeah, shout out to my man. That was good. That was very good. Shout out to him. Mammootty, I have no idea who that is. She can't use turmeric no more. Yeah, that's crazy. No more turmeric, no more cumin, none of that. Okay, so shout out to my man. Hey, that turmeric, hey, that Indian food though is super delicious. That tandoori naan bread. Now that curry though, I don't know. I gotta kind of get my stomach built up for that. I gotta do some sit-ups or something because I don't know if I'm built for that. I need an iron cage for something for that. Oh my goodness, it's a mess. All right, let's keep on rocking and rolling here. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That helped me out tremendously. Here's my man. I think it was at the rally in Atlanta, if I'm not mistaken, because you know Trump had a rally in Atlanta today. I wasn't there. That's kind of far. I would have gone to the rally, but if I would have gone to the rally, I would have missed the show. So I ain't trying to do that. But yeah, I could have gone. Now here's my man talking about what's going on. Check him out.
I remember before Trump got out of office, I only had to put $10 in my truck, go back and forth to work. Then all of a sudden it's 30 to 40, and then prices on beer goes up. And hey, that's the working man's Gatorade right there.
Beer is working man's Gatorade. And it was funny because he said, you know, the gas is going up and the beer going up. I can't even go to the gas station and put 10 on pump 2 and then get a bottle of a case of. Okay, I got a question. What do I think my man right here is drinking as far as his beer is concerned? I ain't trying to promote no alcohol. I'm just saying. What do y'all think my man has in the center console of his truck?
I remember before Trump got out of office, I only had to put $10 in my truck, go back and forth to work. Then all of a sudden it's 30 to 40, and then prices on beer goes up. And hey, that's the working man's Gatorade right there.
It was funny because he put the gas right next to the beer. So you already know what the game plan is. I'm going to go to the gas station, get me a 6-pack of beer, 2-pack of beer, put it right in the back of my truck, put it right in the cab, right in the center console. That's what he's going to do. Shout out to my man, though. Out there working, making this country operate. Shout out to him. No Bud Light, Miller Light, Natty Ice, not Natty Ice. Wow. Natural Light, Yingling. You think he's drinking Yingling for real? I don't think so. I think he's more of a Natty Ice, a Natty Ice or Natural Light kind of guy, for sure. Or a Budweiser, regular old Budweiser, not Bud Light. Yeah. Somebody said 24-pack of Ham's Locker for $12. Yeah, that might be what he got going on, for sure. Otto says former Bud Light drinkers switch to Coors. Yeah, that might be it. Yeah, he had a little bit of a transition right there. No more Bud Light, so I got to go do something else. Yeah, Blue Ribbon. Nah, I don't think he's drinking no Blue Ribbon. Definitely a Natty Ice or a regular old Budweiser, but no Bud Light for sure. Nah, ain't drinking no OE. OE, that's like if you drink OE in 2024, I don't know, man. You might smoke crack for a living. But no offense to the OE drinkers. If you got a whole 40 ounce of OE right now watching the show, I'm sorry. Okay? But last time I seen a person openly drinking Old English, I might have been 15 years old. It is what it is. And I'm no spring chicken no more. Okay? I'm no spring chicken. I'm up there in age. I am beyond, at this point, middle age. All right? But we got some more here. This person has a question for Trump voters. So a question for Trump voters from this person.
A question for all you Trump voters out there. Have any of you changed your vote to Kamala Harris? Because supposedly we're doing this in droves. Or do you know anyone who's changed from Trump to Kamala Harris? Because I feel like less of us are doing this than they're making it sound like. So I've got a question for all you.
So they're trying to say that we're switching? I don't think so. That's a mainstream media lie to try to say that we're switching from Trump to Kamala. Who would do that? What about Kamala would make someone go from Trump to her? And as a matter of fact, these people were asked a similar question. What has Kamala accomplished? She's been around for a while. She's been in office for a while before becoming the vice president. She was the California Attorney General and also a senator. So what did she accomplish during that time? And what does she accomplish now in her role as vice president? She was given tasks. She was a border czar. Although the media would say she was not the border czar, she was the border czar. She has had quite a few tasks, but what has she accomplished? That's the question. And let's see if these people can answer. And I'm seeing some masonry stuff. I see your hat, sir. I know what that is. I recognize that. You're a Freemason. Interesting. Very interesting.
Attorney General in California, and she was the senator from California. I really don't know much of what she did.
I'm not sure I know enough about her accomplishments to answer that question.
The way that she carries herself.
She was Attorney General of her state. She moved up to becoming, the Vice President of the United States. So she has definitely made her stamp in history of being the first African American female vice president, and soon to be first vice president as a woman of color.
Okay. This country wants substance and solutions, not sugary identity politics.
Facts. That's big facts, Jesse Waters. Shout out to you, man. Big facts. All right. But that right there was pretty much just identity stuff. Oh, she carries herself well. Okay, that's fantastic if you believe that. But what has she accomplished from a political level? She's not a first-time politician. She's been around for a very long time. Many, many years. What has she done in that time? What has she done? Now, as far as Joe Biden, I can point to what he's done. 1994 crime bill, locking black men and women up, giving them football numbers, 35, 40 years in the penitentiary. The Brady Act, which part of that that's what ushered in background checks from the federal government. And it's funny because his son violated the Brady Act because part of the Brady Act says you cannot lie on the background check. That's a federal offense. You can go to the penitentiary. Now, do you think that they're going to send Hunter Biden, the president's son, to the penitentiary? Now, if they don't send him to the penitentiary, but your uncle, your cousin, maybe even you yourself got locked up for a gun charge, you're like, what's going on? You have a separate tier of justice for you that the elites don't even have to recognize. You could smoke crack and have a gun illegally and don't go to jail, but if you get pulled over at a checkpoint and they find a gun, you're going to the penitentiary. That's how that works. Okay? Now, if you're trying to call in right now, the lines are not open. I'll tell you when they're open after I'm finished with what we got going on here. So you'll be the first person to know as soon as I get that rocking and rolling. All right. Now, we got some more people on the street giving their 2 cents. Okay, my man right here, before I even play it, okay, you got a young guy in Trump gear, older guy with a Barack Obama t-shirt tucked into his cargo shorts. How is this going to go? You already know, but let's play it out.
Against evil. Oh, so we're evil. I walked through the Trump rally in a Biden shirt. Now one person said something. I walked through the Biden side with a Trump shirt and I got attacked. Y'all motherfuckers evil. Police, he got attacked. He got attacked. He called the cops. Are you losing it? Are you? Woodies, I think. I walked in there and Trump threw me out. He did not. I walked in there in a Biden shirt just fine. Yeah, you're lying. You're lying to yourself. You got dementia, don't you?
You got dementia. Like the presidents that give us record-breaking stock returns.
Has Biden done that?
He's done that. You want to see the facts?
Pull the facts. That's You notice how it's in his notepad and not like actual facts, guys?
And you don't seem to be able to manifest an actual fact.
I'm just speaking facts. I'm going to manifest it.
Oh, I can say you're a short black woman. Is that a fact?
Probably.
Don't you love it?
I want to kiss at this point.
Whoa. We ain't doing that. Well, we ain't doing that, sir. Oh, no, we ain't doing that, man. No, we not dealing with the LGBT. Let's go ahead and pause that right there. Man. We're interactions. Let's keep on going here. Let's keep it moving.
How you voting Kamala?
Some of my.
All right, let's get to some a normie, a little bit more of a normal normie.
How you voting Kamala?
Some of my best friends are gay and trans.
But you know what Kamala said about the gay rights thing, right?
Would
I have the quote here? When I get back in office, things are going to go back to the way they used to. A man and a woman in the household. 2 guys or 2 girls just ain't it, cuzzo.
What's your source for that?
CNN. She said that just ain't it, cuzzo. Should go back to 1 man and 1 woman in the household like it should be.
I'm skeptical of the veracity of that statement.
Well, that's a statement that was made on CNN. So, I mean, you can be skeptical, but it was said.
I've learned to be skeptical of many supposed news sources.
So, like, why would I make up a quote, though? It's on my phone, so how could it be fake?
Oh, because you read it on the internet. It must be true, eh?
CNN? Isn't that the go-to source for a man like you?
Not necessarily.
So you think I'm lying about the quote?
You have not convinced me that that quote is real.
That quote.
Well, I'm glad my man is not just taking what is being said to him just for verbatim, because some people don't care. If you were to tell a normie in the street that a quote came from CNN, that was obviously a fake one. But if you tell them that something came from CNN, they are tending to believe it. That's just kind of how it goes.
Oh, it's real. I just read it.
Oh, because you read it, it must be true.
I mean, how could it be fake if I read it? I didn't even study when I read it either.
So I'm going to go out on a limb here and guess that you support Donald Trump.
With all my heart. I love him. I think he's the best thing that's ever happened. And I think he took that bullet to the ear like a man would. And I think Kamala, you know, I'm not saying that in any weird way, like, oh, she wouldn't have been able to handle the bullet. But like, yeah, she got hit in the ear with the bullet. She wouldn't have been standing up with the fist. And by the way, Donald Trump, everyone calls him a racist. He literally did the Black Lives Matter fist after he got shot. He stood up and did the Black Lives Matter fist.
Shout out to him. Some of these guys are kind of silly. Some of these guys are silly, bro. Shout out to all the young content curators. I think we got a couple more here, and then we get to the calls in a minute. So y'all hang tight for that. The number to call 434-658-1220. I'll open the phone lines in a minute. After we get them on super chats and a couple videos, we'll get straight to it. And RIP in advance to the headphone users. Sorry for the loud noise.
Donald Trump or Kamala Harris?
Donald Trump.
Okay.
He's a better for our country after all the mess that Kamala and Biden have done to our country.
Okay. And what do you like about Donald Trump?
Everything. He's the best president. We have had it before, and he's the best president.
Okay.
Ever.
And what do you dislike about Joe Biden and Kamala Harris?
Everything too. They haven't done nothing.
Yeah.
Just having all that people coming from the border.
Yeah.
And ruining all the economy.
Yeah.
That's what they have done.
So you're not a fan of Kamala Harris's border policies?
No.
So you think there should be a legal process to get in this country?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Okay. And who do you think is going to win? Do you think Kamala even has a chance?
We're praying for Trump.
Yeah.
That's where I'm trying for him.
Okay. And what do you think about when he got shot, Donald Trump?
We got sad. We got sad whenever that happened.
Yeah.
So, but we keep on praying for him.
So I'm hearing accents. I'm hearing maybe like first generation immigrant, something like that, which is totally fine. You know, they say, when I say they, I mean a lot of the leftist media people, they'll say that if you're a conservative, you hate immigrants, you hate brown people, you hate anybody that's not a white male, which is so dumb. It's so dumb, because just as many whites vote for Republicans as Democrats. Okay. For every, Second Amendment, gun toting, Bible toting guy, white guy you have in America, you got one of these full of soy, transformer, Bruce Jenner kind of individuals. You got both sides. It's not just a one-way thing. It's not just one color thing. Okay. And before I get to this issue, Imani Khalif, I got a couple things before we get to that. Here is the line outside the Trump rally today in Atlanta. Okay, now, I don't know about Meg Thee Stallion coming to the rally or Quavo or any other rapper. I don't know who came to the rally. I think it was just Trump. That's all you really needed. Trump himself is enough to bring a draw. So you see the crowd size. You see the crowd size. A lot of folks outside. And it's hot. It's super hot down here. Like, Atlanta, y'all know I live in Chattanooga, right? So that's probably about an hour and a half away from Atlanta. Up here, it was hot. And it actually cooled down because it's been raining a lot. It was a good 90 degrees today with high humidity. And that's actually better than it was yesterday. And the further you go south, even 30 minutes south, but definitely an hour and a half, 2 hours south, it's going to be scorching. People out there with umbrellas because it's so hot. But the line was very long in the scorching sun. No clouds, barely, straight up sun right here on your top of your head. If you're from New York or something like that, and you come down to Atlanta, it's different. Hot Atlanta, exactly. It is hot. It's by Kennesaw State. I'm not really sure. It might be, but I'm not really sure. Let me see where that was. Let me look it up right quick. And if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Okay, let me see if I can find it. Atlanta location. Let me see if they'll show it. It was in the same place. GSU Convocation Center. Yep, this is where Kamala had her rally. So that's downtown. Yeah, that's what it says. It says former President Donald Trump and his running mate JD Vance headed to Atlanta on Saturday for a rally at Georgia State University Convocation Center. Yeah. And said it opened doors opened at 1 o'clock, started at 3. JD Vance spoke at 4:30 and Trump spoke at 5. So yeah, that's how that happened. But Imani Khalif briefly before we go further. Oh, something else. Do y'all know that Tim Scott got married? Congratulations. I didn't know wedding bells were ringing. I didn't know he was going to get married. I thought it was just a girlfriend for when he was running, but he got married. So congrats to him. And I think he has not been married before. And he doesn't have children. Let me see how old he is. Tim Scott, 58 years old, 59 in September. So it looks good for his age. And he got married. Congrats to him. Let me see if I can see. Yeah, no wife or other. Just got married for the first time. All right, so shout out to him. All right, but this person right here, I'm not going to shout out. This is Imani Khalif from is it Algeria? I think he's from Algeria. Let me make sure I'm saying the right thing. He, she, I don't know. Let me make sure I'm saying the right thing. Yeah, so Algeria. This is the person who defeated the woman at the Olympics. Now, y'all know I cannot play any video from the Olympics at all because when I play it, the IOC immediately gives me a copyright claim. They block the video completely. They just block it, take down or whatever. It's real crazy. But this person identifies as a female. Now, the story is this. Here's the story. What I see right here is an obvious male. That's what I'm looking at right now. That's a male. If that's a female, I mean, come on. The story is this. This person has XY chromosomes, but also a disorder called DSD. Basically, there's a deformity with the sex organs. So this person may have a fully or semi-functional female body parts, vagina, but I'm not really sure about the fallopian tubes, ovaries, and everything else on the inside. Now, although this person has XY chromosomes, they say this is a woman. The IOC and the IBA have different standards for admitting people. The IOC, the Olympics, they say, okay, you're listed as female on your passport. You've always identified as female. You're a female. The IBA, the International Boxing Association, who banned this person and a guy from Taiwan by the name of Lu Tin something, a Taiwanese guy. They banned them in 2023 from an event in New Delhi, India, because they took them and did a DNA test and it popped back positive for XY. Now, if we have any doctors in the building, I want you guys to answer 2 questions if you know about this. Give me the answer to 2 questions and answer it directly, because when I was asking this on the internet, I was getting the runaround. Now, some are going to try to tell me that this person is a female because of the whole DSD or whatever, okay? Now, can women have XY chromosomes? That's the first question. It's a yes or a no. Can women have XY chromosomes? First question. Second, can men give birth to babies? Yes or no? Answer that. I've been having the hardest time trying to find answers to the question. Last I checked, you cannot have XY chromosomes if you are a woman. You have to be a man. And this person right here, what are we looking at? What are we talking about? What about this person screams female? Because of what's under the hood? Come on, man. Like, let's stop playing games. Let's stop. Let's just please. This is a loophole at best, or outright cheating at worst. Either way it goes, this is not fair. People think that being a man is just about how you look under the hood, maybe even on the outside, or and then that's it. But they don't think about your cardiovascular capacity, your VO2 max, your bone density, muscle mass, your upper body strength, your physical, your skeleton is different in a woman. This guy has no hips at all because he's not a woman, he's a man. Even a very thin woman can have hips because that's how their skeleton is designed. It's designed to be able to carry and deliver a baby. Men don't have that. So it's much deeper than that. Your hormone levels, everything changes from men to women. It's not as simple as I got a vagina there from a woman. No. Okay, how about your lung capacity? How about your upper body strength? How about your skeleton? How about all that? You are a deformed person, but not a woman. You are a man. And to have a man fight a woman in the ring is ridiculous. And of course, the other guy, Lu Tin, whatever, that's Taiwanese guy, won his match as well at the Olympics because they were allowed to compete when he shouldn't have been. Now, the testosterone test, that can be misleading as well because you could be on tests like Joe Rogan, like RFK, and produce a misleading result. The main thing is the chromosomes. That should be the end-all be-all right there, XX or XY. That's what I was told when I was in the 3rd grade. It's the same way that I was told that men cannot have babies and women can. It was the same day. It was the same lesson. They told me in the same lesson, Miss Crabapple or whoever it was told me that men have XY, women have XX, and women can have babies and men can't. Women have fallopian tubes and ovaries and everything else, and men don't have that. It's just as simple as that. So yeah, it's a mess. But the Olympics, crazy. Now, let me see. I'm reading this right here from Diamond Dave. Successful pregnancy in a gonadectomized woman with 46 XY gonadal dysgenesis and gonadoblastoma. So your gonads, that's your berries or the twig and berries, right? I think one thing with people that have this disorder is that their testes didn't drop. It's a disorder. It doesn't make you a woman. Just because you have a something, your body is different, does not make you a woman. All right. Let me see. Byron says his punches were like telephone poles to those women's face. Notice most of his punches are to those women's faces, jihadist movements. Yeah, it's crazy. Exactly, Pete. Google will give you the runaround. You try to find this information on Google to give you the runaround because language has been language itself has been infiltrated. The things that we knew to be true, basic facts, are kind of up in the air to some of these so-called scientists. They'll tell you that a man can have a baby, which is not possible, but they'll say it. And then if you ask them to dig a little bit deeper, they might, if they don't get offended, and then they say, oh, well, I mean a trans woman, but you said a man, a trans man woman, you said man. So normies who don't know any better, who are just now for the very first time learning this, they'll say that it doesn't matter what you are, you can have a baby. They'll grow up as a man thinking that one day I have a baby. We saw, or you guys may have seen, a man trying to breastfeed a baby. What are we actually doing? What are we really doing? But anyway, shout out to all the actual biological women out there. I appreciate y'all. The imposters, the loopholers, all these guys, man, go back to just go back home, man. We don't got time for that. All right. Now, Telly, there's two. Telly, listen, there was the guy we just saw, and another person, Lin Yu Ting, that's his name, Lin Yu Ting. Now, this individual right here also claims to be a woman. Man, you looking like Jet Li. I don't really see the female characteristics here. I'm not really seeing it. Maybe y'all do, but I don't. I don't think it's fair for these individuals to be fighting against women in boxing or at any kind of way competing against them in sports. Maybe it's got to be some kind of third category for people like this to have deformities or whatever. Let them battle among each other. Let them do that. Matter of fact, let this guy fight the other guy. And it's weird because if you're not in the right weight class, you're off a pound, then the fight don't even go. Or you can't even fight that person if you're not in the right weight class. But you could be a whole different gender or be some kind of strange loophole and it's totally fine. You could be a man fighting a woman and that's fine. But if you are 1 pound overweight, then we got a problem. So yeah, it was this guy, Lin Yu Ting from Taiwan, and also the other guy we saw, Imani Khalif from Algeria. Both of them were disqualified from an event last year at a non-Olympic boxing match, but in the Olympics, they were allowed in because the passport and whatnot says they're female. That's how that worked. But yeah, shout out to the rebranded Jet Li out here trying to fight women. That's crazy. That is totally nuts. But if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. All right, super chats on deck. Then we're going to get to the calls. The number to call, 434-658-1220. Again, 434-658-1220. Thank you to You Ain't Wrong, who says Dick Doug Emhoff have a love child aborted before he married Kamala. Daily Wire reporting allegedly. I did hear that, but I don't know that to be true, so I can't say too much about it. But the rumor has it, again, it's a rumor, and the reason why I'm reading it is because somebody asked me. The rumor is that Doug Emhoff cheated on his wife before Kamala came into the picture and got the person he cheated with pregnant. That's all I heard, but I don't know if that's true or false. Thank you to Apple Bacher All Puff Daddy, who says, Remember Deep State tried to, reminder. You got like little shorthand. Shout out to you, Apple. Reminder, Deep State tried to delete President Trump 3 weeks ago. He also says Deep State federales deleted Fire Chief Cory Kapoor-Torre. Thank you to Not Provided, who says Joe Biden supported notorious segregationist Strom Thurmond, and Kamala Harris endorsed Joe Biden despite knowing this about him. I would like to email you some links. Again, the email contact@anthonyblogan.com is always on the website as well. Thank you for your super chat. Shout out to Apple again, who says, why hasn't Cal Rittenhouse sued lamestream media for false accusations of deleting black folk? And who's this Dudley Brown dude? Another FedEx, Soros bot, Lincoln Project stooge. Don't ever trust rhinos. Didn't he get a settlement? Didn't I see that? Hold on. I think he got a settlement from CNN. Let me see. Oh, maybe he didn't. It was somebody that got a settlement. I don't know what happened. Let me see. Maybe I'm wrong. I thought I saw something about a settlement. So we'll keep on going here. Yeah, I thought it was a between The View and Cal Rittenhouse. Maybe that was fake. I don't know. Anyway, thank you to Michael Critchlow, who says, you got to applaud the Democrats for changing the conversation from an attempted assassination to the foolishness of Kamala Harris. Humanity is a joke. Correct. They literally shot the president, and then it's just like yesterday's news. But that's how the story goes. Thank you to Apu again, who says, ABL, you think Zuckerberg will go MAGA and vote Trump? I don't know about all that. Oh, that was Nick Salmon. That's Nick Salmon. That's right. He sued. And I think Cal Rittenhouse could maybe do the same thing. That's possible. Yeah, that was a crazy story. Nick Salmon, totally crazy. I mean, they straight up lied, talking about you got a punchable. Like, they were literally attacking this kid who literally did nothing, who just stood there and didn't do a thing. And they were attacking this kid, talking about something, he got a punchable face. It was crazy. That was a really crazy time. Thank you to Laura Catherine, who says, keep it up with the working out emoji. Thank you for that. Thank you to Apple Bacher Puff Daddy, who says, ABL, are you a calm driver? Do you ever get road rage? I say I'm pretty calm. I don't get road rage. I've never attacked somebody. I ain't trying to run anybody off the road. I like going fast now. I enjoy driving, you know, put the pedal to the metal. I love doing that. In the truck especially. Oh, yeah. You know, do a little bit of overlanding or something like that. Light overlanding, not too much. I just enjoy kind of being out there on the road, and I like living out here because it's a bunch of hills and mountains, and I really enjoy that kind of driving. Growing up, of course, driving that way, West Virginia, it's all mountains. So I enjoy mountainous terrain, being able to drive in it and having, you know, steep inclines, and sometimes get a little bit dangerous. It could be a downpour. I kind of enjoy when it's raining a little bit and there's a little bit of danger involved. You know, I like that. But as far as road rage, no, I'm good. Okay, I get a little bit irritated sometimes, but then I remember the same thing I know right now, the same thing I kind of tell myself on a consistent basis, that most of these people, we talking about mouth breathers at best, morons at best, room temperature IQ at best. I can't get mad at them. How am I going to get mad as a guy who has a little bit of intelligence at a person who is barely able to count their fingers to get to 10? How can I be upset at that person to the point where I'm going to do something to him? It doesn't make any sense. Thank you to Ryan Henderson, who says, ABL, you look fired up. I'm with you, buddy. Thank you, man. I appreciate you. Yeah, hey, I came into the stream ready to go. It was on my chest. I had to get it off immediately. Yes, Cosmic, that Mustang 5.0. Yes, indeed. that coyote naturally aspirated. Oh, I love that. Just revving it, like the sound, beautiful. But I don't take the Mustang. I take the Mustang up in the mountains too. Lookout Mountain. I'll go up and Lookout Mountain with the Mustang. Only thing about that is that front end sometimes kind of scrape. But that truck, you could throw anything at it and it's cool. You could throw anything at it and it's good to go. The Mustang, that's more for like flatter type of. Michael Crystal also says, well, Uncle ABL weigh in on the Simone Biles drama. She pursued her husband. He thinks men are the catch and she recently put her gold medal around his neck. Community isn't happy, but they're in love. I will cover that story on Uncle ABL. That's just jealousy because a lot of people in the community wish they could have what she has. So it's like what Boosie said, if you guys don't know. It's the envy that builds up. I wish I could be like her and be married to an NFL football player. I wish I could be like her and be an Olympic gold medalist. I wish I could be like her and be married, in love, happy, having a good time. But since I'm not that, since I keep seeing them on my timeline all the time and I can't do anything about them, all I'm going to do is just hate. I'm going to say her hair looks bad. I'm going to say that they should be wearing the gold medal. I'm going to say whatever I can say. And if I ever get to see them, I might want to do something to them because I'm so envious and hateful on the inside. That's all it's about. It's about their own personal issues they want to just dump onto Simone Biles and her husband. That's all. Think it's Ryan again who says, if it ain't broke, they break it. Exactly. Think it's a Regina, the godmother for your becoming a member. Think it's a Devin who says, she allowed to use a VP sign while campaigning? That's a very good question. Isn't that a violation of, what's that act where you cannot campaign from an official capacity? I forget what it is. Or you can't campaign from, it's something, I forget what it's called. Y'all know, you guys are pretty smart. Thank you to Joe Tato for the emoji donation. I appreciate it. Thank you to the third time who says, Kamala Harris is on record calling herself an African-American. Lies. Is she? I've never seen it. Not until maybe 2020. Thank you to Sean Robertson who says, how do you call out someone to a debate and then when he responds, you back out because Promise Trump will tell you straight to your face? I don't know. Thank you to Kelly Hartnett for your donation. Thank you to Cal Denson who says, who's ready for a Vance versus Shapiro vice president debate? I just know the young leftists are going to be very upset about that pick. Yikes. Yeah, because he's Jewish and they don't like Jews. They're anti-Semitic for real on the left. You know, I don't care what color you are personally. How about you as an individual? I think it's Ryan Henderson who says she probably was hanging with Nancy Pelosi too long sipping that jug. Thank you to Mauricio91 who says, unburdened by what has been a future free of the past. It's how the communists tried to get rid of the four olds, old ideas, culture, customs, and habits. That's a very, very good point you made there. Shout out to you, man. Thank you to, shout out to Mika, Pop Culture Mika. Shout out to you. Mika says, if she's black, so is DJ Khaled. Exactly. Like, what are we talking about here? DJ Khaled straight from Palestine, for real. And some may call him part of the community, but he is not black. Thank you to Donald B. who says, check out Charlie Kirk's and Guest Explains Unburdened. Thank you to the third time who says, it's believed that she is a descendant of Hamilton Brown, an Irishman, the founder of Brownstown, Jamaica. I believe so. Rebel Rider Reason says, check Twitter. I sent you a video of Charlie Kirk explaining what Kamala means by unburdened by what has been. I'll check it out. Thank you. Thank you to JB's Garage who says, so I wonder what else they're going to tell us, why they keep throwing nonsense at us to talk about, all propaganda. Thank you to TJ Jizzle who says, Trump rocked in the A. GSU should be shamed for leaving people outside. That's crazy. Hopefully you were able to get in there. You know, you were doing your thing, hopefully. Shout out to you, TJ Jizzle. Thank you to San Diego Varsity Sports who says, Officer Tatum just tweeted, Russia is moving weapons into Iran now. We have no leader. Good timing with a mess. That's going to be going on. They already did the exercise off Alaska. Then they're going, that's already been going on for a long time. And like you said, with no leader, we got a problem. Because look, part of the reason why they didn't want to have Joe Biden primary properly is because they knew if they did that, he'd be a lame duck, which means a guy that can't really do anything that's going to make a difference because he's not going to be there much longer. So they didn't want that to happen. They make him look weak and make him look weak, the country look weak. It'll just be an overall bad thing. It's different in a term limit because he cannot even complete his term. So if that's you, you're super weak. Not only will you not even be here in a few months, you're also not even capable of leading in the meantime. Thank you to PH who says, what did Kamala accomplish? She turned black. Thank you to Gilbert Guys who says, you should look up Namaste Trump speech, February 2020, right before the lockdowns, and one of his greatest appearances. God bless. Thank you to Kofefe Coffee Lover who says, what can't be unburdened by what has been, quote, attributed to Karl Marx, referring to the class struggle and humanity's move toward an unburdened future. Communist Marxist talk, of course, because her father, if I'm not mistaken, or her mom went to UC Berkeley. Shout out to CGA for that one. UC Berkeley, you're talking about a commie camp, a commie workshop. Thank you to the wealthy broke man who says, I will date her. You talking about who? Kamala or who else? Thank you to the L Factor who says, ABL, do you think Vivek would have been a better running mate for Trump? I think Vivek and JD Vance are very similar. I'm not really sure that Vivek could be better. I like Vivek as far as those who ran for vice president. But now hearing JD Vance and his story, Hillbilly Elegy, I think he's a good pick. So they kind of like 1-1. And they know each other already. They're already friends. They already got a connection. So I think Vivek will be around some kind of way. And I'm willing to bet that Vivek may have had some input on JD Vance becoming the vice presidential pick. That's my humble opinion. Now, I got the video for Rebel Without a Reason right quick that I'll show. And then I'll keep on rocking and rolling. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. We get to the calls in a minute, I promise. We get the calls in a minute. But let's watch this from Charlie Kirk right quick about the whole unburdened by what has been remark.
President Harris will say repeatedly, what is the quote? The quote is that we can see what can be unburdened by what has been. Is that word salad or Marxism? It's Marxism. That is, in fact, not at all word salad. It is a Marxist, as I said on Twitter the other day and got mocked relentlessly by the media for this. I said it's a Marxist incantation, as a matter of fact. It's like a spell. So you can see the possibility of a world that's unburdened from its own history, which is exactly what Mao Zedong did when he launched the campaign of Smash the Four Olds, the four old characteristics of Chinese society. They were going to make a new China that was going to be unburdened by what had been in the past of China. This is what the Soviets, the Bolsheviks, did when they took over power in Russia, is that they were going to make the new Russia. They're going to make the new man, as a matter of fact. People could become unburdened by what has been so that they could see what could possibly be in the terms of a socialist utopia. So, Madam Vice President, when she says that, I assume, given that her father was a Marxist and a professor, I assume she knows what she's saying, and I don't buy her idiot valley speak shtick one bit. I think she's far more smart and far more savvy than conservatives have given her credit for, and she is an outright Marxist. It is very, very clear in her language, and that's what the Democrats want to nominate for president right now, which is kind of horrifying.
So there we go. So good explanation of what that means. It's not just word salad. It means something. That's a Marxist. It's a Marxist thing. So shout out to my man for sending me that, Rebel Without a Reason, and Charlie and them for explaining what's going on there. All right, let's keep on rocking and rolling. Let's get to the calls finally. The number to call 434-658-1220. Again, 434-658-1220. If Skype doesn't work right, don't blame me. Blame the white man. It ain't my fault. There's also an email in the description so you can get on through Skype and be right here in the bottom left-hand corner of the screen. All right, give me a second, get my sound together, and we'll get to the calls. Okay, let's get to the sound settings. And where are we at? All right, that's perfect. Let's go to 952. You're on line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, ABL, it's Alex. I haven't called you in a while. It's been like 6 months. I have switched shifts. I don't listen to you at work anymore. But I mean, I still like to bring up the fact that if we're, the leftists really love the Kamala Harris, she likes to claim that she listened to Tupac and some other, or was it Tupac and Dre when she graduated college 3 years prior. I mean, if she has the ability to time travel, man, I don't know. You know what I mean?
Right on.
So, yeah, I saw the other one with you and Anton Davis, which Anton Davis just demolished her, and that was probably the greatest clip. And I think we need to keep recirculating that just to make sure people get the point across. But thanks again for all your hard work, and I'll let you move on to the next caller. All right, man?
Thanks for the call, man. Appreciate it.
Yep. Bye.
All right, so shout out to my man Anton Daniels. I got to get his name right because you guys got to go check him out too. Anton Daniels. Shout out to Anton, Mika, everybody over there. I appreciate y'all for doing what y'all do. Y'all keep on rocking and rolling. Let's go to 951. Your line. Let's speak it to.
ABL, how you doing, man? I've been watching for a long time. My boys were my young sons are asking to talk to you. And my youngest son, he's 6 years old. He wants to tell you a joke.
All right.
Is that all right?
Let's hear it.
All right. Okay.
Hello?
Hello.
Can I tell you a joke?
Go for it, young man.
What you call somebody with no brain?
I don't know.
A Democrat.
Ah, there we go. That's perfect, man. Loved it.
And we were watching your videos.
Well, I'm glad you guys are watching.
We
man.
liked it.
Thank you, man. I appreciate you.
You could talk to my brother.
All righty.
Hey, I'm not going to take much of your time. Thank you very much. You totally entertained my children.
Thank you for the call, man. Appreciate it.
Hey, we love you, bro.
Thank you.
All right, bye.
Oh man, that right there, I love when the kids call in, man. That's like the highlight, man, because what's happening, you got the parents raising their kids properly. That is a great sign for the future, man. So shout out to you, Dad. Shout out to the brothers. Shout out to the youngins. Hey, you guys are doing the right thing, man. Keep it up. Keep up the good work. All right. Yeah, shout out to the youngins, man. That's what you got to get to the youth. So it's all good. All right. But the number to call is 434-658-1220. Again, 434-658-1220. And all righty, Skype caller, who am I speaking to? Oh, my man, Nolo King. It's you?
Hey, man, what's up? You still remember me? That's awesome.
Yeah.
It's been a while.
Been a while, man. How's everything?
Everything's great, man. I just had a kid. He turned 1 year old, so I've just been busy with that and life, man.
Congrats on that, man.
Yeah, thanks, man. How are things going with you?
Everything is good, man. Just really busy because of all the election stuff. It's been really crazy, as you can see.
Yeah, and that's what I wanted to talk about. It's funny because, well, not really funny, but when Trump was shot, I actually was in Mexico because my wife is Mexican, so I was just visiting our family, and it was just crazy. Like as soon as I landed, my notifications were going crazy, you know, with all the news and stuff. I said, damn, that's wild. What's going on with you guys?
Yeah, it was really, really crazy. Like when I saw it, it was kind of hard to really even think that could happen because you would think Secret Service, best security in the world, but a guy gets on the roof and is able just to get himself situated and shoot him from that short distance. It was crazy.
Yeah, man. But the thing that inspired me to call you was when I came back because I had a connecting flight in Dallas, and I haven't been to Texas in like 5 years. And it's really changed, man. I remember when I used to go to Texas, you would see the guys with the cowboy hats, you know, the stereotypical, brawny guys with the big guts. And it's changed, man. The demographics have changed, especially the flight attendants. There were these big, tall, like guys who could be in football, but they were very feminine. Like the way that they were talking. One guy had like a bow in his hair. The other guy had like work done on his lip. And I don't know, man. U.S. is definitely changing. I can see people are very confident about Trump winning, but I don't think we should underestimate Kamala, right? Because I don't know, man. There's some sort of change that's going on that I'm seeing. So you can't attack her by saying she was very rough as Attorney General because what people want is people who are more tough on crime. And then you can't really say, oh, she's an extremist. She's a Marxist, because that's gonna, get her base to vote for her, right? Like the Young Turks are turning their back on Kamala because they feel like she's betraying them. So I don't know. I just don't think that Trump should be underestimating her, especially his rallies. I watched I listened to the one in Atlanta, and it didn't really have that kind of energy. So I don't know. It's just a warning, because in Canada we used to be quite conservative, believe it or not. I would say around the 80s. And then things just changed, right? And now it's a point where we basically have two Democrat parties, right? And we're just debating on, who's going to charge us more for the climate tax, right? So I don't know. I'm just saying, like, you guys better watch. You guys better watch out, because I'm looking at my investments, and I don't know if you know, but there's like a crash that happened recently, and it's not good, man. We really need Trump back, because when Trump was there, I could see the difference. Like I was getting a lot of gains. Like I invested in American companies. So I don't know. I hope you guys get your act together. And I'm getting a little nervous. I'm going to be completely honest with you, that people are getting a little too complacent. And it's really important that everybody votes and we discuss the issues. I think this Kamala thing, this Indian, is she black thing, it's super goofy to me. I think we need to focus on the issues. I know you addressed it earlier in the stream, but anyway, I don't want to babble on too long. And I really appreciate your time and everything that you're doing. And congratulations with all the success. And I wish you more, man. Peace out.
Thank you for the call, man. Appreciate you. All right. Great call from Nolo King. Yeah. I understand where he's coming from, for sure, especially about you can't take her lightly. I mean, Trump still got a campaign. This is part of the reason why Trump was upset that they just selected her, because he had already spent a bunch of money on Joe Biden, and he can't just not campaign against Kamala. He has to spend a bunch of money on her too. So you got to change the whole game plan and try to combat her. So it's a thing. 414, you don't lie. Who am I speaking to?
This is Orlando calling out of Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Battleground swing state, my friend.
All right, man. What's going on?
Man, I'm loving your show, love your content. Just want to let you know that we are on the ground here in Milwaukee talking to black men, and talking in particular black men who are felons, because in Wisconsin, if you're a felon off paper, you can vote. And this message from Donald Trump is resonating with men.
Oh, definitely. Absolutely. And that is an important thing to do, to be able to reach people, to make sense to just regular everyday people. That's a very important thing. So I'm glad that it's working.
We are on the ground. You can go to Orlando4WI.com to check out Project Move the Needle. And we're trying to get it going, man. I heard the last caller, and in my humble opinion is this. I don't think the Democrats have a good place where they can land in whoever Kamala picks for her running mate, if it's Josh Shapiro or what. This Gaza situation, either because the Democrats are trying to be all things to all people, and there's no two-state solution. I'm sorry. Either you're going to be for or either Israel, or you're going to be for the Palestinians. There's no two-state, and so they can't split this needle. So they're going to lose a half of their voting base with these young people. And black men, I will say, especially in Wisconsin, for us to win Wisconsin, that road runs through Milwaukee. And we got to get black men to vote, and we're out doing that. And I think your content is spot on. I think Trump can continue to hit on Kamala's, is she black or not? I mean, it's going to get more into the issues. But let's be clear. Trump was not a random white person who brought up the black issue. We as black people talked about who are foundational blacks and who aren't. So let's be clear. When I hear the left and the black liberals and the white liberals talking like, well, he's talking about a race and ethnicity. Who you think he just pulled this out of thin air? Black folk are talking about this, because I know many are Jamaican. They don't claim to be black. In a heartbeat, they will tell you they're Jamaican and not black. So let's just be clear here. But I think there's issues that we're winning on, and the Trump campaign needs to just continue to move forward. And, man, I want to continue to follow you, my friend.
Well, thank you for your call, man. Definitely appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
All right, great call. Let us see people on the ground making things happen, talking to people, seeing where they're at. That's a very good thing. So shout out to him. All right, let's keep on rocking here. Let's go to 305 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, ABL. Good evening. How are you doing tonight?
I'm well, man. How about yourself?
Good, man. Thank you so much for asking. So I was wondering if I can ask you a question about Rudy Giuliani, because I remember earlier in the show you were talking about that you had family members that you can't really talk about politics with because they're very far left. Well, I have a cousin that I visited last week, and he's a big liberal, and we were having a discussion about the election integrity for the election for the 2020 election, and he thinks that Joe Biden got 81 million votes and all that. So I don't think that anything I'm going to say to him is going to change his mind. But he brought up Rudy Giuliani. Apparently there was a case for the election interference that he testified under perjury and whatnot, and the judge asked him if he saw 33,000 ballots get thrown down a lake or something, and he told me that Rudy Giuliani said no. So I told him I don't really know about Rudy Giuliani because I know he did his own separate thing. He wasn't really part of the Trump team, and I kind of felt out of the loop of what he was doing.
Okay, was there a question there?
Well, I was wondering if you know about the case, about the election interference case that Rudy Giuliani had about 30,000 ballots or so.
I've heard about it, but I don't know a lot about it myself, so I really wouldn't have too much to say.
Okay, I understand. All right, thank you so much for taking my call. I appreciate it.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate it. All right, shout out to the caller. Let's keep on rocking and rolling. Let's go to 804 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, ABL, how you doing tonight?
It's all good, man. How about yourself?
Good. I'm Byron. I called you before, but it's good to hear you. What a great show you got on tonight. Wonderful topics. Boy, ABL. And by the way, when that gentleman talked about somebody from Jamaica or from the Caribbean, not being black, I had a coworker I worked with. She was from Trinidad, and she said the same thing. She said, "You can't call me black." But anyway, that's not what I really called about. This boxer from Algeria, ABL. I'm a little confused because Algeria is a very conservative Islamic country. And have you heard anything about Algerians cheering on this guy?
I don't know. I don't know anything about how they feel about the situation, but the situation, it might not be what we could think is like a transgender or something like that. It could be that, but that's not necessarily what it is. So here's what could be going on. What could be happening is that this person was observed to have female genitalia at birth and therefore was assigned female. But upon further examination, this is not a female. This is a male because they have XY chromosomes. Maybe that wasn't discovered until later, or maybe it was kind of a loophole. Because Algeria is a North African place with a Muslim background does not mean that they're not going to cheat. They can still cheat. That happens regardless of where you are and what, that's not necessarily a thing that is out of bounds for a Muslim country to do.
Oh, of course. I mean, lying to the infidel is normal in Islam.
Right.
It's interesting because every time I see him salute, you saw him salute, I'm like, that is very interesting. That's a very male thing to do.
Because he's a man, at the end of the day.
Correct.
It's like we have certain things that we just do naturally or by custom because that's who we are.
Correct. I'm not too sure if also is Algeria trolling the West. I don't know if you know what I'm saying. Like, they're showing the infidel how inferior they are by by literally slapping women in the face with this boxer. It's just very unusual.
I mean, it could be that, but you also got to remember that Taiwan also did this. Like right now, you got two fighters that are similar with the XY chromosomes, but they are identifying as female. You got the Algerian and the Taiwanese. And they both tried this last year at a non-Olympics event. And they were denied because they had a DNA test and they came back XY. So
exactly. Well, correct. But I mean, Thailand, you know, the lady boy thing is kind of accepted.
No. Taiwan.
Taiwan, correct. Well, Taiwan. I'm mistaken. You're correct. But I'm just noticing that what he's doing is I believe whenever an Islamic country does something like this, there is a message behind it, and we maybe cannot see it in the West, but I think his country understands what they're really trying to do, and I think they're insulting us, and they're doing it through the IOC, and it's making a mockery out of Western civilization, and it's sad that it's come to this, and of all things, the Olympics. But anyway, Bill, I don't want to keep you tonight. Any last thoughts?
That's pretty much it, man. Thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you.
ABL, you have a good night. And America, vote 2024. Please vote Trump. Y'all have a good night. God bless America.
All right, now. Shout out to the caller. Let's keep on rocking. Let's go to... All right, let's do... 205 here on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey there, ABL. J Mark calling in. You hear me?
You're on speaker, so it's kind of hard to hear you.
Okay, give me 1 second. Let me get to a better area here. So you can hear me much better. Okay, can you hear me better now?
Much better.
Yeah, I was gonna say, did you see the breaking news that the U.S. government has accidentally sent at least $239 million in development assistance to the Taliban since 2021 due to the State Department's failure to properly vet award recipients, according to a new report. Did you just see that?
I didn't see it, but I'm not surprised. That's not. I'm not surprised at all. Because they've been over there funding everything that's happening with Afghanistan, so it's going to fund the Taliban. We've been funding them,
right? Not including all the billions of dollars of weapons and equipment that we left over there,
right? Exactly.
And it's just one of those things I said, man. I was like, man, even if Trump get back in there, man, it's like the damage that Biden and Kamala Harris has done, man. It's like almost to the point. Even if Trump get back in there, I feel like it's going to be difficult for him to reverse a lot of these things. I mean, if he did, it's going to take at least a decade probably. And we all know that he ain't going to be in there, for a decade. So it's just, I just was scrolling on there and seeing that. I'm like, man, like $239 million. And this was, I was arguing with my cousin about. I was like, this is what happens when the federal government gets too big. It's just money gets sent to places that they don't have no clue where it went. I mean, the same thing happened with Ukraine. I think you did a video on that where they accidentally sent too much money to Ukraine or something like that, or they lost track of some money.
You know what? I don't. It's never, in my opinion, it's never an accident. It's always on purpose. And then when they get criticized, it was a mistake. Sure, it was a mistake. I just mistakenly sent Ukraine $200 billion, but meanwhile, y'all mistakenly took $5,000 of my tax money and didn't give it back. Okay, let's just say mistake to do whatever you want to do.
Right, exactly. Yeah, you're right. Even in the comments, I mean, people are saying that this was no accident. They didn't accidentally send that money. This was something done on purpose. And so, man, we got to really pray for the country, man. It's a lot of developments. I'm hearing now that they're saying that there's still another active threat for Trump, that that they're saying that this is still a possible chance that they can try again against him. And I feel like a lot of people don't know really how much we're on the verge of some sort of like huge awakening, a huge red pill in the country. You know, it's very just a lot of ticking time bombs, if I can say the least. And so yeah, man, we just got to be praying on the lookout and really just being prepared and stuff. But yeah, man, I'm not gonna hold you up too long. I'll just I'm gonna send that to you on Twitter. Maybe you may do a video about it, but you know, I'm sure no one really surprised about that. But yeah, man, thank you for taking my call.
Thanks for the call, man. Appreciate you.
All right. Bye.
All right, shout out to the caller. And the phone lines are jam-packed, so y'all please hang tight. 914 the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, Bill, what up? This is Anthony calling from New York.
All right, man. Great name. What's going on?
Not much. How you doing?
Everything's good, man. Can't complain at all.
Good, man. I've been watching your show for years. I haven't been really following politics too much. I've been on and off because sometimes it gets mentally draining. But I didn't start following politics. Politics started following me. That's what I think. I never really was into it, honestly. But about everything about the women and boxing and all this other stuff, like this happened a long time ago as well. You remember it happened in mixed martial arts, that dude named Fallon Fox.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if you're familiar. You remember that? It was a long time ago.
I remember that very well.
Yeah, that was crazy. I believe that dude actually fractured the girl's skull, if I'm not mistaken.
You're right. It was crazy.
I believe so. I haven't heard much from it since that, but man, they have a before and after, and man, you know, that dude was a biker. Looked like a biker before even it was just crazy, man, what he did to that girl, man. I think it's worse in mixed martial arts with knees and elbows and all that stuff. But as for the boxer in the Olympics, man, I'm actually working in Indiana, right? And I called a few times. I called you sometime, like it was like 8-9 months ago. I was in Roanoke, Virginia the last time I called you. And you were telling me about Roanoke and stuff, and I thought that was cool. And then prior to that, I actually called you before. I did a little rap for you and stuff. That was mad long ago.
I remember that.
I'm not sure if you remember. You remember that? That's what's good. But as for the woman in boxing, the one who lost, the Italian girl, man, at first, in my opinion, I was really mad, right? I was like, damn, that's crazy. How is this happening? Like, what's going on here? Like, but then she came out and she apologized about it and said that she wishes that this woman, who is a dude, to basically do big things and win. And I'm like, how can I get behind somebody that doesn't even respect themselves now? If I'm not gonna stand up for you if you're not gonna stand up for yourself. And I think the only way that this is gonna stop all this craziness that I don't even think that we should be talking about. The fact that we're even talking about it is crazy. The only way for it to stop is that I think the women really have to make a stand. Us as men, we could say as much, but it's going to take the women to come up and do something. If I was her, she should have just kept her hands behind her back. She shouldn't have not done that. And her coaches should also not allow her to do that. I think the coaches are just as much to blame as the athletic commissions in the Olympics. You know, I think that's absolutely crazy. And the fact that we're even talking about this is just George Orwellian, 1984 stuff. But that's just my take on that. And the caller earlier, the dude who was on Skype, I believe he was from Canada, and he said he's nervous. And, you know, I'll tell you this. I never voted before, but I'll tell you this. I'm voting for Trump, 100%. And not only am I voting for Trump, I got all my cousins to register to vote for Trump. And we never voted before. That's why I'm confident, because people like me who never voted before are going out to actually do it, you know? And then I see it at work. I'm talking with people my age, you know, and I'm talking with a lot of black people, Spanish people, and they all telling me they voting for Trump. The older heads, like, they're the ones that's like, nah, you know, they don't really mention, oh, politics shouldn't be talked at work, whatever. But it's the older heads that's usually not talking about it, not talking about, they're saying, oh, we don't talk about politics, but that means they voting for Kamala. But I noticed that the younger people are the ones that are voting for Trump. I'm talking about black, Spanish, white, all the people in my department at the hospital, all the youngins are voting for Trump, and that's what I noticed. And another thing I wanted to say was JD, the vice president, Trump's JD Vance. At first, I didn't know much about him, you know, and I was like, okay. And then I started doing a little research, and I found that he served, and I saw the clip that you posted, and about how he was called Kamala the chameleon and thing, and I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. So he's growing on me. I would have preferred Vivek, me personally. I wanted to see Vivek because I thought Vivek he just eats people alive. Like his vocabulary is just crazy, and I would love to have seen if Biden stayed in the race. You know what I'm saying? If Biden stayed in that race, and I would love to have seen Vivek and Kamala debate. You know, the Indian versus the well, I don't know what the chameleon that's sticking to the tank like a gecko. You know, I would love to have seen that because I think Vivek would have ate her for lunch. But that's just my feelings about everything, ABL. I appreciate everything that you do. I always come back to you in the end. I'll go back, circle around other people doing YouTube or whatever, but I always come back to you in the end because I think Officer Tatum, and a few other people, you guys keep it the most official in terms of your opinion and everything. So I appreciate everything that you do, and I'm looking forward to Trump winning this election, brother.
Right on, man. Thank you for your call. Definitely appreciate you.
I appreciate it, ABL.
All right, great call. Now, he mentioned Roanoke, and I think, who said this? I think Lone Dragon, you said you were in Salem. So my dad's actually from Roanoke. Both of my parents were born in West Virginia. My mom born and raised West Virginia. My dad would kind of go back and forth between Roanoke and West Virginia. Before my parents were born, both of my mom's side, my granddad over there, and my dad's dad knew each other. They worked together because my granddad would come from Roanoke to West Virginia and vice versa to work because it's so close. Now, I would be in Roanoke half of the summer and then the other half in West Virginia. My dad used to be in Eureka Park. I know about all the streets, Hirschberger, Orange Ave, Melrose. We used to be out there in the hood, obviously. But my granddad had a house on, Westside Boulevard. Nice house. And it's still there. We still got that house, actually. My uncle still owns that house on Westside Boulevard in Roanoke. So, yeah, I know Roanoke very well. I ain't been since Dad passed because we had the funeral up there. So that was some years ago. That was like 21. But, yeah, I know Roanoke very well. Shout out to Roanoke. All right, I'll take a few more, and then I'll wrap it on up, put the bow on top. Let's go to 646 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Yes, hello.
Hello, who am I speaking to?
You hear me?
I hear you well.
Hey, how you doing?
It's all good.
Yeah, my name is Reese. My name is Reese from New York. I'd like to say the few callers before that called in before and said that, Caribbean people, Jamaican people, we don't describe ourselves as black. That's a load of nonsense. We do describe ourselves as black. We say, oh, me black, me brown. We describe our color and what we are. So we do say we're black. So they need to stop talking about what we say. Stop talking for us. Let Jamaicans tell what we call ourselves. That's firstly. And number two, why everybody keeps saying Kamala Harris is not black? Her father is black Jamaican. Why people keep saying that? Why?
Okay, now, she herself said she was Indian before. It wasn't up until recently where she started to identify as... Wait, hold on. You asked me the question. I'm answering the question now. She herself identified as Indian. It was always the first Indian this, the first Indian that, Indian. Then all of a sudden, when they come, hold on, I'm almost done.
Okay, sorry.
So then when it becomes time to become the vice president and Joe Biden's looking for a black female to fill the role, hey, now I'm black. That's the issue.
Anthony, okay, firstly, you got to understand, she was a senator in California, which had a high Asian population. Her mother is Indian. So when she becomes a senator, that's a big accomplishment for Indians in general because it already has a high population in California. She's going to say she's the first Asian senator in California. She's going to say that because they're trying to pander to the high population of Asians that's in California. You got to understand how politics work. She didn't say she's not black because that's why she went to HBCU. You don't see no Indians going to HBCU. She went to HBCU because she knew she was black. But obviously, she's run for senator in California, which has a high Asian population. She's going to pander to the Asian population. That's politics. We got to use common sense.
So she's
That's
pandering.
She's not black.
So she'll just say whatever she needs to say to appeal to her. She needs to appeal to.
That's politics, man. All
but
politics.
Wait. But hold on.
Kamala Harris.
Hear me out. So you just admitted that she'll just say whatever she needs to say whenever she needs to say it to appeal to whoever. She's a panderer. That's what she's saying.
First of all, but she said she's black before. First of all, she said she's biracial. She's both.
You said it.
Give me both. It's actually a thing where you can actually be biracial. You know that, right? It actually exists.
Okay, so why not just say that rather than saying I'm Indian one day and black the next day? Why not just say I'm biracial?
She said she's black. On multiple interviews, she said she's black.
And she also said that she's Indian. Wait, excuse me, sir. She's also said that she's Indian on several interviews. My point is, why not just pick one and stick to it? Or say or say you're biracial. Whatever you are, just be that. Rather than being black one day and Indian the next day.
Anthony, I got a lot of respect to you, right? But you got to understand how biracial people operate. They code switch a lot. As biracial people, they're not like us. We can't just say, oh, we're black one day and not black another day. Biracial people, specifically, are very nuanced. Sometimes when they want to favor a certain part of themselves, they would identify with that part. Like a biracial person who's white and black. When they're around white folks, they act more white and identify with the white people. When they're around black folks, they act more black and identify with the black people.
Let me ask you a question.
That's what biracial people do.
Okay, let me ask you a question.
That's not new with Kamala Harris.
Hold on. Wait. Barack Obama, biracial, right? Hello?
Yes.
Now, have you ever heard him say he's white?
Well, that's the difference between being biracial, white and black, and being biracial, Indian and black, or Mexican and black. Is a difference.
So the answer. Wait. Hold on. Wait. So the answer is no.
Because you can't.
Excuse me. Wait. Come on. Hang there with me. Hold on. I'm asking questions. I just want to get some answers before we move on. So just so we know, the answer is no to my question. When I asked you, has Barack Obama ever identified as white?
No, but you got to understand.
All right,
based on your phenotype and how you look. No, Anthony. It also is based on how you look. Mariah Carey, she's very pale. She can say she's white one day and black another day.
Does Kamala look Indian? Does Kamala look Indian?
He doesn't look nowhere near white.
Does Kamala look Indian?
It depends on how you look.
Does Kamala look Indian?
She looks like a biracial person who's half Indian and half black.
Does she look Indian?
That's how she looks. She can pass off as an Indian.
Why? You're having a hard time answering the questions.
She looks very ambiguous. She looks ambiguous.
See, look, when like I respect the phone call. I thank you for the phone call, but when you call in, you got to be able to answer these questions now. Because the thing is though, she'll be asked the same questions by people who have concerns. And the thing is, if you're going to be the president, I don't want you to be a panderer, just saying whatever somebody wants you to say whenever they want you to say it. I want you to be 100% real. Okay. Hold on. Wait. I'm almost done. Hold on. I want you to be 100% real all the time. Whatever the facts are, let the facts be the facts, and just have that be that, rather than just telling me whatever you want me to. It was like, okay, so I'm a black person, and you come and speak to me. You talking about, oh, I put hot sauce in the tub and greens in the tub, and I went to an HBCU. You say that around me, but then when you go to my next door neighbor who is Indian, and we living in the same place, and got some of the same concerns, you're a whole different person. I don't like that. Just be who you are all the time, and that's it. Is that too much to ask?
Okay, Anthony, lastly, she can describe and identify whatever she wants. That doesn't change your blood. Her father is a black Jamaican. He's actually wrote an article about his ancestry and his lineage. And Judge Brown is a fool. He's a liar. He never met her father. Her father never said he was a Hindu. He was raised in the church. So Judge Brown is a bold-faced liar. He never met him. A day in his life.
Now, here's the question.
He wrote an article about his family instead of what he is.
I got you. I got you.
That's a lie.
Okay. That's fine. Now, hold on. I got you. I got your point. He's a liar. Okay, I got you. But I have a question. Is Donald Harris, Kamala Harris's father, Professor Harris, is he also of Irish ancestry? Because don't they have slave owners in their past?
You do know a lot of Jamaicans have white.
I want you to answer the question.
I'm 12% white. I'm 12% white.
Okay, now the question, sir, my man, you got to answer the questions. Look, if you're going to call and have like a dialogue like this, you got to answer the questions I'm asking.
Sorry, go ahead. My bad.
So, who, like Donald Harris, her father, is he half white, 25% white? Is his dad white, granddad white? What's going on with that?
Okay, as far as I know about his tree, because I know people who works on his tree. I know people. I've done DNA, I do genealogy and all that. So as far as what I know about his tree, his great-grandfather, Joseph Alexander Harris, he was half black, half white. And also, on his father's mother's side, he was descended from Hamilton Brown. He wasn't Irish, by the way. He was Scottish. He was Scots-Irish. There's a difference. He was Scottish, living in Ireland. He wasn't Irish. So her great-great-grandfather was Hamilton Brown, who was a slave owner. He also had white people on his mother's side as well, distantly. So he had black and white in his family, like a lot of people have. A lot of people got black and white in their family.
Okay, so
look at freaking Adam Clayton Powell. Adam Clayton Powell was damn near white.
Okay,
we consider him black, don't we?
As far as a percentage, like, what do you think that he would be, black and white?
I'd probably say I don't know. I would have to see how his DNA looks, but just by judging how he looks, I'll probably say he's about maybe 70% black and 30% white.
You think he's that much? Looks. I mean, I think he looks more like about 60. But let's just say it's 70, right? Let's just say it's 70. Okay, so you got a 70% black person with a 100% Indian person. That's a black person. That their offspring is a black person. Is biracial. And like I was saying from the beginning, and like I said,
make Kamala at least 30% white. I mean, 30% black. Wasn't it?
Is that enough to consider yourself to be black? 30%?
I think it would.
Now
she has black ancestry.
Now I could tell you that I'm probably about 20% white myself because my dad's side.
You taking a DNA test?
Nah, but I know my family. Like I know my family all the way back to the 1800s on both sides. We have done family trees and everything. I know who these people are. I've met my great grandparents on both sides. I know everybody. So on my mom's side, my 2 times great grandfather was a white man. He was actually Irish. And my mom's side, they got an Irish name to this day. Now you go on my dad's side, you have a lot of light-skinned people. My granny was like, she could almost pass for white. My grandma, my dad's mom could almost pass for white.
But Anthony, like I said, a lot of us have white people in our ancestry.
But look though. Now, if I'm 20%, I make one more point. I make one more point, and then I gotta go, sir. I gotta go in a minute. I make one more point. Now, I'm probably about 20% white. You would never be able to say that I'm a white person. But she's 30% black and get to say she's black. To me, it's just kind of dumb, man. But thank you for your call. Definitely appreciate you.
Respect.
All right. Shout out to, great call. Shout out to him. I appreciate the back and forth, the challenge. I appreciate that, man. Thank you for calling. But I got to go. It's getting late. It's past my bedtime. So shout out to you guys for being here. Really, really appreciate y'all. If you enjoyed tonight's show, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. This is also an audio streaming podcast you're listening to right now. It'll be available at 8 a.m. Eastern tomorrow morning on your favorite audio streaming platform, Google Play, Apple iTunes, Spotify, whatever it is. Link for that will be in the description, or just go to your favorite audio streaming platform and search ABL Live. I should pop right on up. But that will be a wrap for me. Shout out to you guys. I'll be back. Same bat time, same bat place on Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern time to right around right now, 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thank you to everybody for watching, retweeting, whatever you're doing. I could not do the show without you. Shout out to the mods keeping them trolls in check. I really, really appreciate y'all. But that will be a wrap for me. I got 4 more super chats here. Then I wrap it on up, put the bow clean on top. Thank you to Troy Livingston, who says, why is it that I have to subscribe to you at least once a week? It's BS. Man, YouTube, you got to ask YouTube what's going on, man. They're trying to play games. They're trying to constrain me. They're trying to keep me away from you, but you can't. They can't do it. Oh, I'm on TikTok now as well. They put a gun in my head and say, hey, man, you got to get on TikTok. And I immediately did 2 videos that did over 1 million. Like I had a TikTok before, but I wasn't really posting anything on there. I would post things kind of sparingly, but I got 2 videos on here right now that both got 1 million views. You probably can't see it, but at the very top, yeah, you're not going to be able to see that at all. But they both got 1 million views at the very top. Go to my TikTok, Anthony B. Logan. And the reason why I'm over there is to combat all the toxic garbage that China feeds them with the truth. Now, let's keep on going here. Thank you to Christine Evans, who says, the youngin' that called us my stepson, Noah. He's been waiting for 2 weeks to tell you that joke. Thank you, ABL, for the kind words and for making our kids' night. Please give a shout out to Noah. Shout out to you, Noah, man. Thank you for calling in. I love the joke. Keep doing what you're doing. And shout out to you people. Shout out to everybody out there. I really appreciate y'all. Shout out to the adults in your life. They're doing a really good job by you. Shout out to you, Noah. And thank you to JD King Sword, who says, shout out to you, ABL. Thanks for letting me be a mod. Hey, it's all good. No problem. Thank you for your support as always. Thank you to Andrew Lapinci. And I know I'm telling your name, man. I'm sorry. Who says the government forced everyone to expose their opinions. Thank you to Milo. Shout out to you, Milo. It's been a minute. Milo says it's been a long time from 20K. Wow. Hope you remember me. Remember you very well from Serbia, right? And still here after 8 years. Keep it up. You're Serbian sub. Yep, I remember you very well. Thank you to Frederick, who says, how can Kamala be nuanced when she flip-flops? Exactly. Thank you to Jamie, who says, ABL, can reach out to the retired Chicago cop? Yeah, I'm gonna try to reach out to him if I can. Thank you to B to the Rye for your donation. I most certainly appreciate you. Yeah, shout out to my retired Chicago police officer friend. I've not heard from him in a while. Hopefully he's doing well. If you're listening to me, man, you know, you got fans in the chat. They want to know if you're doing well. Shout out to you, man. We really, really appreciate you as always. And that's what he said right there, B to the Rye. And thank you to Jennifer King Sword, who says ABL and Nick DiPaolo would be a great interview. I've heard of him, but I've not watched his stuff. I'll go check him out. So, yeah, if that's the interview we need to do, then we can make it happen. But that will be a wrap. I am up way too late. We up past my bedtime. I'll be back live again on Wednesday, but I'm here all throughout the week putting out pre-recorded content I'm on TikTok now. I'm on Facebook, I'm on Instagram, and I'm on Twitter. Follow me everywhere, and you may get different content depending upon where you are. Oh, also, of course, you got Uncle ABL, the brand new channel. I'm going to talk about the Olympics kerfuffle with Simone Biles and her husband and the hate that she's getting. Why should she get so much hate? She's out there performing very well at a high level in gymnastics and has been doing it for a very long time. That should be the focus, but people are making the focus be other things. So then you got to talk about it, try to debunk it and get away from it, because if anybody else talking about it, then it just kind of goes out there unchecked and it's always a big mess. So that'll be a wrap. Until next time, y'all be safe. I'm out, and peace.